Chapter 23:16 Eliminating early. After a quick look through the contents of the jade bamboo strip, the demoralized and defeated Zhuge Hong jumped up abruptly. It's him. It's him. No wonder he could defeat me so easily. So has that Zhen Wushuang. Zhuge Hong clenched his fist tightly and his body shivered with anger. The contents on the jade bamboo strip were undoubtedly the identity and origins of Zhen Wushuang. Zhen Wushuang's identity wasn't a secret in Lin Mansion. The Zhuge family and Lin family had been competing for many years. It was only natural they had some spies in the Lin Mansion. All they needed was to mobilize them a little to find out. Zhuge Hong also understood Zhen Wushuang wasn't just some sword boy of Lin Mansion but the famous unparalleled talent in sword principle in Anzhou Prefecture. Zhuge Hong finally felt enlightened. At the same time, the defeated looks had vanished completely. For him, if he lost so utterly to an ordinary sword boy, the blow would undoubtedly be huge. In fact, he might not ever recover from the mental devastation. However, if he was defeated by an exceptional talent, there would be nothing to feel down about. Zhen Wushuang was undoubtedly an exceptional talent. When I first came to Anzhou Prefecture, I heard about Zhen Wushuang as well. All along, I wasn't concerned about it and thought that the others were just exaggerating things. Now, it would appear that he is indeed extraordinary to be able to break your terrestrial treasure saber with his finger when both of you are at the same cultivation base. His understanding of sword principle might have reached the level of great achievement. In Anzhou Prefecture, it is unlikely that there will be anyone who is a match in this aspect. Even the previous family head of Zhuge family, Zhuge Yun, wouldn't be, said the grey-robed old man. That is to be expected. Zhen Wushuang had his name given personally by Taoist priest Shen Shun, answered Zhuge Hong. Taoist priest Shen Shun, the grey-robed old man was baffled. Elder Chen, you have always been in Dongzhou sect and just arrived in Anzhou Prefecture. It's expected that you aren't aware of Taoist priest Shen Shun. However, he was extremely famous in Anzhou Prefecture in recent years. He's a mysterious expert with unimaginable abilities. Although I have not seen him, I have heard about him. My father and many experts in the Zhuge family have the utmost respect for Taoist priest Shen Shun. In fact, even the strongest man in Anzhou Prefecture, the commandery governor, is reverent and respectful before him. In fact, some even said the commandery governor wishes to follow Taoist priest Shen Shun, even if it was to be a servant. It is just that Taoist priest Shen Shun has rejected him, said Zhuge Hong. Oh, the grey-robed old man was astounded upon hearing Zhuge Hong. He knew about the commandery governor of Anzhou Prefecture and he was rather well known in the Wuxia Baron region. That was an elite divine demon and much stronger than him. In Dongzhou sect, those who could possibly match up to him could be counted with a single hand. An elite divine demon like him would willingly be a servant to Taoist priest Shen Shun? From this, it was easy to tell how amazing the Taoist priest Shen Shun was. Taoist priest Shen Shun is a man of great capabilities and might be an elite in the absolute beginning divine world, and yet he visited Zhen Wushuang's family and gave Zhen Wushuang his name personally. There's no way Zhen Wushuang would be a pushover. There's nothing to feel bad about in losing to him, remarked Zhuge Hong. It's great that you are able to get over it. Elder Chen finally heaved a sigh of relief. Previously, he had been worried that Zhuge Hong would never get back up on his feet. If that was the case, he wouldn't be able to explain it to Zhuge Hong's master when they returned to Dongzhou sect. Now, this wouldn't be necessary. Get over it. Zhuge Hong snorted. I have to admit my talents aren't as great as his. However, this doesn't mean I will let him trample over me. He humiliated me before the watchful eyes of the crowd and foiled our Zhuge family's plan. There's no way I will let him off easily. Moreover, his father is the governor of Incineration Moon City. From what I know, Zhui Yunfeng and the family head of Lin Mansion, Lin Taifeng, are brothers of life and death. They are extremely close. Once our Zhuge family start a war with the Lin family, Zhui Yunfeng will definitely extend the greatest help he can. As for Zhen Wushuang, he will definitely become an enemy to our Zhuge family. An enemy who is widely deemed to be unparalleled in sword principle and has exceptional talents should be removed as soon as possible. Elder Chen nodded his head and agreed. From what he had displayed earlier in the day, Jian Wushuang's potential was unquestionable. Even a talent like Zhuge Hong was several levels below him. For a super talent like him, it would be best to form good relationships with him. However, if he was on the opposing side, it would be best to eliminate him before he fully grew up. Didn't our intel say that Jian Wushuang would be leaving Lin Mansion for Incineration Moon City tomorrow? That would be the opportunity, said Zhuge Hong. Could it be you are thinking of intercepting and killing him on his way back to Incineration Moon City? Elder Chen looked over. Can't we do that? That's plausible. However, I couldn't do it personally. Now that we have stirred up a storm in Lin Mansion, the Lin family will definitely be able to tell. Moreover, despite the fact that we have left Lin Mansion, we are still in the vicinity. The Lin Mansion has definitely dispatched experts to watch us in the dark. All our actions will likely be seen by their eyes. Therefore, if we want to make a move, we can only arrange for other experts to do it, Elder Chen analyzed. This won't be an issue. Zhuge family still has some experts that we can mobilize within our territory. I will send my family head a message now to dispatch a batch of experts immediately. After all, there will only be a peak chaotic realm escorting Jian Wushuang back to Incineration Moon City. It would still be easy to kill him with just this level of protection. Soon, Zhuge Hong sent a message to the family head of Zhuge family. When the family head of Zhuge family received the message, he could sense the immense potential of Jian Wushuang as well. Similar to Zhuge Hong, he would want to eliminate this threat as soon as possible. Therefore, he started preparing immediately. The next morning, Jian Wushuang was ready to move on from the Lin Mansion. Brother Wushuang, I'll go look for you in Incineration Moon City soon, Lin Yang said. Haha. That's not necessary. Most likely, I'll be in Lin Mansion before you know it, Jian Wushuang replied with a smile. He was speaking the truth. Since he had deciphered almost all the secret skills and secret manuals in Lin Mansion, there was nothing left that he would miss about this place. However, Lin family would have a battle with the Zhuge family soon. His father would definitely extend a helping hand then. It would be obvious that Jian Wushuang would follow along. Great. I wish you a pleasant journey, Lin Yang remarked. After waving goodbye, Jian Wushuang and Lin Yi headed towards Incineration Moon City under the eyes of numerous Lin Mansion's experts. Chapter 2317. Targeted with Heaven's will and control, the space of absolute beginning divine world was a lot more stable than the eternal chaotic world. When he was in eternal chaotic world, releasing all his powers without restraints would easily destroy an area and space of 100,000 to 1 million miles. In the absolute beginning divine world, unless you were a supreme expert that stood above it all, it wouldn't be that simple to destroy the world. Obviously, with the space being so stable, it would be harder to open up a wormhole. As such, many places in absolute beginning divine world didn't have a wormhole. For example, Anzhou Prefecture. Only a few ancient sects within the Wuxia Barren region might have some wormholes. Therefore, cultivators in absolute beginning divine world would often have to travel on their own or rely on some flying-assisted treasures like flying ships. From Lin Mansion to Incineration Moon City, it wasn't too far. Jian Wushuang and Lin Yi were running throughout. With their speed, it would probably take 10 days for them to reach Incineration Moon City. On the journey, Uncle Lin Yi, how long have you been out of closed-door practice? Jian Wushuang asked casually. It has been 3 months since my cultivation base stabilized, answered Lin Yi with a smile. 3 years ago, Lin Yi was struck with inspiration after seeing Jian Wushuang demonstrating the snow cleave. Immediately after, he had gone into seclusion until 3 months ago. He had made a breakthrough in sword principle and would be classified as reaching the minimum threshold. Congratulations. If I'm correct, you now probably have the fighting strength equivalent to a half-step divine demon, right? Asked Jian Wushuang. Not exactly. A half-step divine demon isn't just about one's understanding of weapons. It also requires more concentrated divine power. More importantly, I will have to grasp some rules of order. It isn't that easy to grasp some rules of order. Lin Yi sighed emotionally. However, Jian Wushuang didn't feel the same way. With heaven's will controlling the absolute beginning divine world, the rules of heaven and earth were extremely dense and couldn't be compared with the eternal chaotic world. In the eternal chaotic world, grasping some rules or order would be truly difficult. It would still be relatively easy to do so in the absolute beginning divine world. Nonetheless, it wasn't an easy task either. My little friend, Wu Shuang, I have you to thank for this breakthrough. If it wasn't for your guidance previously, I wonder how much longer I would have taken to reach the minimum threshold of sword principle. Lin Yi was sincerely grateful and behaved extremely humbly before Jian Wushuang. He was from the same generation as Jian Wushuang's father and had an extremely good relationship with him. Interactions with Jian Wushuang's father were like those of equals. However, when he was before Jian Wushuang, he was more like a junior. The main reason why you can reach the minimum threshold for sword principle is because of your hard work and ability to grasp concepts. However, don't get too overjoyed just yet. The threshold of sword principle is only the beginning to the path of swords. The sword principle is deep and profound. The road ahead is still long, I can understand. However, I don't have that ambition. My only goal would be to be like you, reaching great achievement in sword principle. That would be sufficient for me. However, I wonder how long it will take with my talents to reach that level. Perhaps I might not reach it in this lifetime, Lin Yi sighed. He wasn't a demon-like talent at sword principle like Jian Wushuang. Reaching great achievement in sword principle would be an extremely high level for him. As for Jian Wushuang, he had attained that level at just the age of 16. As long as you are willing to work hard, you will reach it, answered Jian Wushuang. Both of them were chatting along the journey. Just when they were crossing a mountain range, Wang, Jian Wushuang stopped abruptly and squinted his eyes. What's the matter, pal? Lin Yi looked over, feeling baffled. Uncle Lin Yi, it seems like it won't be easy for us to reach Incineration Moon City safely, said Jian Wushuang. What do you mean? Lin Yi furrowed his brows. We are being targeted. Upon hearing this, Lin Yi was astounded. He upped his vigilance immediately and spread his soul power out without reserve. Just as expected, at the deepest point of the mountain range, there were several extremely faint auras. Noticing that they had been discovered, the owners of these auras didn't attempt to hide further. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. 5 figures shot up into the sky and appeared before Jian Wushuang and Lin Yi. Among the 5, 3 were men while the rest were women. All of them had varying levels of aura. Jian Wushuang was able to tell the strength of these 5 people by just extending his soul power through them. Among the 5, 4 were chaotic realm, of which 2 were middle stage chaotic realm and the other 2 were early stage chaotic realm. There weren't any at the chaotic realm. Jian Wushuang and Lin Yi weren't concerned about these 4 at all. However, the red-haired old lady with a dragon-head truncheon had an especially strong aura. This aura was the level of a half-step divine demon. Because of her, Lin Yi looked extremely gloomy. Who are you guys? Why did you block us off? Lin Yi asked loudly. Uncle Lin Yi, that's not necessary. All 5 of them must be from the Zhuge family, said Jian Wushuang. Zhuge family? Lin Yi turned solemn. When I defeated Zhuge Hong yesterday, I expected the Zhuge family to come looking for me. I just didn't expect them to act so quickly, Jian Wushuang mumbled. Hee. Lad, you are pretty smart. However, you got something wrong. We aren't from the Zhuge family. We are just helping them, the red-haired old lady answered. This was the territory controlled by the Lin family, after all. Although the Zhuge family had lots of experts within their territories, it was still a little hard to mobilize experts that could definitely kill Lin Yi and Jian Wushuang. Therefore, the Zhuge family had paid a price to hire the red-haired old lady. So that's how it is. I know all half-step divine demons of the Zhuge family and yet didn't recognize you, so you aren't from the Zhuge family, Lin Yi said coldly. You should know who we are. If you work for Zhuge family today, you will offend Lin family completely. Our Lin family will definitely hunt you down and there won't be a place for you in Anzhou Prefecture anymore. Why don't you guys stop here and be friendly with our Lin family? Lin family knew the threat of the 5 people before him. Therefore, while sending a message to Lin Mansion requesting reinforcements secretly, he was trying to convince the red-haired old lady to stop. Even if he couldn't convince her, he wanted to buy as much time as possible. Stop here. Wishful thinking. I have taken benefits from the Zhuge family and am here at their request. It's only natural that I keep my word. As for how your Lin family will want to pursue us in the future, we aren't from the Anzhou prefecture to begin with. After this, we will leave Anzhou prefecture for good. Your threats do not mean anything to us at all. Therefore, you two can just sit tight and wait for your deaths obediently. Chapter 23:18. Ambush. Therefore, you two can just sit tight and wait for your deaths obediently. Her cold voice reverberated in the air. Just as she finished her words, the red-haired old lady pointed the dragon-head truncheon towards Jian Wushuang and Lin Yi. Despite being at a distance, a dense stream of devilish aura gushed out from the dragon-head truncheon. The devilish aura filled the atmosphere and morphed into a giant demonic dragon in the blink of an eye. The demonic dragon was entirely black and emanated a frightening aura. It let out a deafening roar before rushing towards Jian Wushuang and Lin Yi. Before the demonic dragon approached, a stifling pressure swept across Jian Wushuang and Lin Yi. Jian Wushuang was unmoved. He had seen too many half-step divine demons in his previous lifetime. Now that he was facing one again, he was still as calm as ever despite not recovering fully. However, Lin Yi wasn't able to be as composed as Jian Wushuang. Damn it! Lin Yi cursed. Before the demon reached him, he drew the sword from his back. Powerful sword essence erupted into the sky. Since he had reached the minimum threshold of sword principle, Lin Yi's sword essence was clearly way stronger than before. Lin Yi took a big step forward and swung his sword decisively. Just like a streak of sword light that was about to split the heavens. The strike was blurry but had unwavering dominance. In the next instant, he struck the head of the giant demonic dragon. Demonic mist tumbled around the demonic dragon. Despite having a powerful aura, it was split into two by the sword light and dissipated into the atmosphere. Huh! The red-haired old lady with the dragon head truncheon was astonished and turned to the other four chaotic realms. Didn't your Zhuge family say the one escorting the lad was an ordinary peak chaotic realm? Yet, he sliced my demonic dragon in a single strike. His strength is probably not any weaker than a half-step divine demon's. This, the four chaotic realm experts couldn't answer at that moment. From the intelligence gathered by the Zhuge family, Lin Yi was indeed an ordinary peak chaotic realm. Although his sword principle was pretty good, it wasn't too extraordinary. However, just like the red-haired old lady had said, he was really strong. It looks like our Zhuge family's intelligence was erroneous. Although Lin Yi was much stronger than we expected, he shouldn't be beyond the range your honor could handle, right? One of them asked. Yeah, I can still handle him, but the difficulty is a lot higher. The promised remuneration has to increase by 30%, said the red-haired old lady. 30%. The four chaotic realm experts turned solemn. However, after communicating with their consciousness, they nodded their heads in unison. As long as your honor is willing to stick to your end of the deal, 30% should be acceptable. All right. Leave Lin Yi to me. However, you guys will have to finish off Jian Wushuang personally, the red-haired old lady said. Not a problem, the four chaotic realm experts agreed decisively. They only found Lin Yi to be a slight issue. As for Jian Wushuang, a mere pure sun realm wasn't something that would bother them. Once they had reached an agreement, the red-haired old lady made the first move. You are Lin Yi. To be able to slice my demonic dragon in a single strike, you are pretty strong. However, even if you can slice one, can you deal with 5? The red-haired old lady stared at Lin Yi. Divine power surged from her and an intense devilish aura gathered. Soon, 5 demonic dragons had formed. Shit. Lin Yi was flabbergasted. His all-out strike could destroy a demonic dragon. However, he had to deal with 5 at the same time now. Lin Yi was plunged into exceptional danger instantly. Pal, run away now. Lin Yi shouted. Sword essence surged as he charged towards the 5 demonic dragons. Powerful sword light flickered as Lin Yi tackled the 5 demonic dragons. However, it was clear that Lin Yi was in an absolutely disadvantageous position. He would be able to barely keep himself alive and couldn't possibly care for Jian Wushuang at this juncture. He only hoped Jian Wushuang would be fortunate to escape from this. What he had never expected was that Jian Wushuang wouldn't attempt to flee at all. When he heard Lin Yi shouted, Jian Wushuang remained rooted to the ground. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. The 4 chaotic realm experts from the Zhuge family had already surrounded him. Seeing that Jian Wushuang remained unmoved, they scoffed. Hee hee. Brat, are you so afraid that you have become dumb? Lin Yi ordered you to flee immediately, and yet you choose to remain behind. Although you have frightening talents, you are still too young and haven't been through many ordeals. In a life and death situation, you have become paralyzed in fear. It's good that way. You will have a quicker death and won't suffer as much. The 4 chaotic realm experts chatted casually and weren't concerned by Jian Wushuang at all. However, what they didn't notice was when they were mocking Jian Wushuang, contempt was gleaming in Jian Wushuang's eyes. That half-step divine demon expert is held up by Uncle Lin Yi. There isn't even a peak chaotic realm among the 4 of them. Jian Wushuang shook his head. He wasn't silly and he wasn't paralyzed in fear. In his previous lifetime, he had been through numerous setbacks. In the most pressing danger, he could still remain calm while searching for a glimmer of hope. His current encounter wouldn't even have been considered a small wave. The reason why he didn't heed Lin Yi's advice to flee at the first instance was because only 4 chaotic realms weren't qualified to make him flee. In the air, Jian Wushuang stood peacefully. He flipped his palm and a red sword appeared in his hand. The sword was 4 feet long and didn't have a sheath. The red body made it look as though it was submerged in fresh blood. When it appeared in Jian Wushuang's hand, it instantly attracted the attention of the 4 chaotic realms. They stared at the sword. At first glance, the long sword looked ordinary. However, it seemed to have been to hell and back. Corpses were scattered everywhere and the sea of blood was vast and boundless. Great sword. That's definitely a terrestrial treasure. Moreover, it's a peak terrestrial treasure or even a heavenly treasure. Without a doubt, this was a stunning killing sword. This sword was none other than the Blood Mountain sword. The sword that had descended from the sky when Jian Wushuang was born. Chapter 23 19 Strike Old Pal, it's been a long time since I last fought with you. Jian Wushuang ran his fingers through the body of the Blood Mountain sword while feeling the icy cold sensation from it. The Blood Mountain sword was the closest comrade Jian Wushuang had ever had. Although it had only been 16 years since he had held the Blood Mountain sword and gone on a killing spree, it felt like a lifetime. The difference of a lifetime was undoubtedly long. Now that Jian Wushuang had taken out his Blood Mountain sword again, it symbolized that the infamous Sword Emperor of the previous lifetime was about to use his Reaper sword once again. As for the Blood Mountain sword, it could also pick up the killing intent from Jian Wushuang that it had been missing for a long time. The body of the sword started trembling violently. Thanks. Although this kid is still young, he has a pretty good sword. I heard when this kid was born, a divine sword descended with him. It was also because of that the name he was given suggested he would be unparalleled in swords. That divine sword that descended with him is probably the one he is holding on to currently. Such an incredible sword in the hands of a pure Sun Realm kid would be such a waste. It's better for it to be with us to show its true might. To prevent unexpected events from happening, let's kill him right now. Kill. After a short conversation, all 4 of them struck at the same time. Logically speaking, they were all at the chaotic realm while Jian Wushuang was just at the pure Sun realm. Any one of them could have easily killed Jian Wushuang. Yet, they had chosen to strike at the first instant together. This was because they wouldn't want to give Jian Wushuang even the slightest opportunity. Moreover, they coordinated well. One of them was using a saber and was like the embodiment of the god of thunder as he charged towards Jian Wushuang with flickering lightning surrounding him. Another one used a black spear. Through the emptiness of space, he silently lunged towards Jian Wushuang's head. A girl was using a red long whip that moved like a giant python and was circling around Jian Wushuang swiftly. The most stunning of them all was a burly bald man. As he pushed out his palm, a giant hand formed that shrouded the space before Jian Wushuang. They had completely cut off any path of escape for Jian Wushuang. The next instant, the saber sliced open Jian Wushuang's body. That black spear penetrated Jian Wushuang's skull. That long red whip crushed Jian Wushuang's body. And the final large palm from the burly bald man destroyed everything that Jian Wushuang had been using initially. Everything was so smooth and fluid. However, the 4 chaotic realm experts that struck felt something wasn't right. This was because all of them could feel their attacks weren't connecting with a material body. Whoosh! Unknowingly, Jian Wushuang had appeared in the middle of the quartet. In the same space, Jian Wushuang utilized spacetime rules of order and arrived in the middle of the quartet silently. The next moment, Jian Wushuang struck with his Blood Mountain sword. As the sword moved through, ripples reverberated through the surrounding space as though something heavy was being thrown into a calm lake. The swing from Jian Wushuang was like a heavy object while the surrounding space was like a peaceful lake. A sword glow lit up the space and intoxicated the rest. It was just a small ray of sword light and yet the entire space was shrouded in it. For a moment, time and space seemed to have stopped. It was as though the 4 figures were frozen solid and not moving an inch. Jian Wushuang put away his sword slowly and walked through the quartet without taking a look back. At this very moment, the frozen quartet was filled with fear. It wasn't that they didn't want to move. They couldn't have even if they wished to. Moreover, they could feel a sharp pain in their necks. From there, blood started flowing out. A thin, minuscule sword mark had been left on their necks. However, this sword mark had neatly sliced through their necks. The quartet could clearly feel their vitality slipping rapidly from their bodies. Before death, they were filled with astonishment and disbelief. When Jian Wushuang walked out of the middle of the quarter, 4 heads flew off. In a single strike, the 4 chaotic realm experts from the Zhuge family had been killed. At the other end, Jian Wushuang could hear angry roars from time to time. Those were from the 5 demonic dragons. The 5 demonic dragons were extremely powerful and just one of them was sufficient to suppress a peak chaotic realm. When the 5 of them coordinated, even half-step divine demon would have to go all out against them. Lin Yi's fighting strength was just barely comparable to a half-step divine demon's. After an intense battle, he had crushed one of the demonic dragons relying on his sword principle. However, he had also suffered some injuries while battling the demonic dragons. As for the red-haired old lady with the dragon head truncheon, she stood in the air. When Lin Yi was battling the demonic dragons, she would search for opportunities to attack. Lin Yi's injuries had been caused by her directly. Although both of them were in battle, they were also paying attention to the situation at the other end. Lin Yi was initially flabbergasted when he saw Jian Wushuang not heeding his warning to leave at the first instant. There was nothing he could have done. Subsequently, Lin Yi felt despair when he saw the Chaotic Realm Quartet strike decisively towards Jian Wushuang with their killer moves. He had not thought Jian Wushuang would have any chance of survival under the besiegement of the Chaotic Realm Quartet. Just as the thought went through his mind, the tiny and intoxicating sword light illuminated the space. That strike, Lin Yi was completely mesmerized by Jian Wushuang's strike. He could tell from a single glance that the strike was the snow cleave that Jian Wushuang had created 3 years ago. He had only gained enlightenment and made a breakthrough in his sword principle after seeing it go into cultivation in seclusion for 3 years. This strike was definitely the most amazing and mysterious that Lin Yi had ever seen. It wasn't just him. Even that red-haired old lady was mesmerized by that strike. The next instant, something unbelievable happened before the red-haired old lady and Lin Yi. After that single strike, the Chaotic Realm Quartet from Zhuge family couldn't put up a struggle at all and had their heads severed directly. Impossible. A strange light glittered in the eyes of the red-haired old lady as she stared deadly at Jian Wushuang. How could this have happened? Lin Yi was stupefied. He would admit Jian Wushuang's sword principle was exceptionally amazing and no one in Anzhou Prefecture was a match for him. However, regardless of how incredible his sword principle was, he was merely a pure sun realm. Chapter 2320. Water Fairy Island, a pure sun realm, had killed 4 chaotic realms in a single strike. Was this possible? Who would believe it if someone told others? However, that had really happened before his eyes. Moreover, the chaotic realm quarter wasn't just at the early stage chaotic realm. 2 of them were at the middle stage chaotic realm. As for Zhen Wushuang, he was just at the middle stage pure sun realm and not even the peak pure sun realm. The difference in realms was so huge, and yet he could swiftly kill them. Lin Yi and that red-haired old lady couldn't believe their eyes. However, Zhen Wushuang was able to do it so easily and casually. After he killed the chaotic realm quartet, he was still casual and composed. For him, killing 4 chaotic realms was indeed nothing. When he was in the eternal chaotic world and before he had completed his perfect chaotic life form, he had been able to rely on the uniqueness of being an inverse cultivator to challenge and even kill chaotic realm as an eternal real god. And now that he had been reincarnated into a perfect chaotic life form, he was even more frightening than an inverse cultivator. Moreover, his understanding of the rules of order, sword principle, and many other aspects were way beyond the ordinary chaotic realm. As such, killing an ordinary chaotic realm was just like a walk in the park. Even if he were to face a true peak chaotic realm, he would stand a good chance. In the air, Lin Yi and the red-haired old lady had stopped. Both of their gazes were fixed on Zhen Wushuang. Haha, Zhen Wushuang. I finally understood why the Zhuge family would pay such a high price to kill you. At such a young age, your understanding of swords is already so deep. You are even able to easily kill chaotic realms when you are just a pure sun realm. If such a demon-like talent like you were given time to grow, the entire Anzhou prefecture or even the entire Wuxia Baron region would be trampled under your feet. In fact, you could even go beyond the Wuxia Baron region to a more glamorous region. For you, reaching Divine Demon was a given. As for going beyond Divine Demon and becoming an undying saint, you probably have a high chance as well. It is not surprising why the Zhuge family would feel uneasy about having such a talent standing against them. The red-haired old lady laughed coldly while staring fervently at Zhen Wushuang. Zhen Wushuang was indifferent and didn't take in a single word from the red-haired old lady. As for Lin Yi, he was awestruck. Previously, he had known that Zhen Wushuang had extremely high talents and great potential. Now, he felt he had only seen the tip of the iceberg. The potential that Zhen Wushuang had displayed was even greater than any talent he was aware of. Just like the red-haired old lady had said, becoming a divine demon was a given for Zhen Wushuang. He also had a high chance of becoming a superpower existence of undying saint, the level beyond divine demon. Looking across boundless absolute beginning divine worlds, an undying saint would be considered a top-notch expert. Zhen Wushuang, I'm here this time because of Zhuge family's invitation to kill you. However, after seeing your talents, I have changed my mind. The red-haired old lady stared at Zhen Wushuang and said, "Truth be told, my name is Yang Qiu and I'm from the Water Fairy Island." Water Fairy Island? Lin Yi was astonished. Zhen Wushuang also lifted his head to glance at the red-haired old lady. Zhen Wushuang knew about the Water Fairy Island. Although large families were the most common in the Wuxia Baron region, ancient sects were numerous as well. Moreover, these sects were extremely powerful and controlled large areas in the Wuxia Baron region. Misty Rainsword Pavilion, which Shui Yunfeng wanted Zhen Wushuang to join, and Dongzhou sect, which Zhuge Hong was in, were both rather strong sects. However, they were miles apart from Water Fairy Island. Water Fairy Island was definitely one of the most elite sects in the Wuxia Baron region. In fact, they would be ranked in the top 10 among the numerous sects of Wuxia Baron region. It was said that there was more than 200 chaotic divine demon in Water Fairy Island. As for experts beyond that level, they were more than a few of them as well. A powerful sect like this was definitely feared by various families in the Wuxia Baron region. I have heard of Water Fairy Island, but what does it have to do with me? Zhen Wushuang's eyes were still as cold as ever. Hee. I told you about my background because I wouldn't want such an absolute talent to be killed here. Therefore, I would like to give you an opportunity. If you are willing, follow me back to Water Fairy Island and I'll personally refer you. With your talents and potential together with my referral, It will be more than sufficient to get you a slot as a core disciple of Water Fairy Island. If you are lucky, our island master, or even those elders that are above the chaotic divine demon level might want to take you as their disciples, said Yang Qiu. She had indeed come to kill Jian Wushuang. She had also taken the benefits from the Zhuge family. However, the potential that Jian Wushuang had displayed had aroused her interests. It wasn't that she was appreciative of talents, but because she knew clearly if she could refer a talent like Jian Wushuang into Water Fairy Island, the experts in Water Fairy Island would definitely reward her handsomely. These rewards would be way more than what Zhuge family had promised her. You wanted to kill me moments ago and now you want me to join the Water Fairy Island? Heh. You definitely changed quickly. However, the meager Water Fairy Island ISNT qualified for me to join. Jian Wushuang was cold and didn't hesitate for a moment. Jian Wushuang, you have to think this through. Even if it wasn't for your future, you would have to consider your current predicament. Following me back to Water Fairy Island will be your only chance of survival. Otherwise, Yang Qiu squinted her eyes. Otherwise? Truth be told, I'm really not interested in your Water Fairy Island. As for you, a meager half-step divine demon is nothing before me. I don't feel that my current situation is perilous. On the other hand, you should think about how you are going to get out, Jian Wushuang said coldly. The Chaotic Realm Quartet from the Zhuge family has died. It will be your turn next. Arrogant. Yang Qiu was infuriated. Jian Wushuang, you only killed some Chaotic Realm trash. Do you really think that's incredible? Forget it. I've allowed you to live and yet you reject me. Don't blame it on me. A stifling killing intent emanated from Yang Qiu. She was finally going to use her full strength. Chapter 23-21. Execution. From the beginning, although Yang Qiu had made his move as well, he had only suppressed Lin Yi with his demonic dragon. But as a genuine half-step divine demon that had already understood some rules of order, he had more up his sleeve. Finally, Yang Qiu was giving it his all. Little Wushuang, watch out. Half-step divine demon experts are strong, Lin Yi reminded him. Lin Yi had some grudges. Why couldn't Jian Wushuang simply agree to Yang Qiu's request? From Lin Yi's perspective, many geniuses are rushing to join big sects like the Water Fairy Island, but Jian Wushuang had discarded the opportunity. During such a crisis, if he had agreed, there would have been no more trouble. But now, they had to go against a half-step divine demon expert giving his all. We can only hope that the Lin clan experts reach us in time. Lin Yi clenched his fists. He had already transmitted for help when they were intercepted, but reinforcements needed time to arrive. A half-step divine demon is indeed strong, but with my own powers, and the help from little Wushuang, we should be able to hold on, Lin Yi thought. But at that moment, Jian Wushuang looked at Lin Yi. Uncle Lin Yi, I cannot handle a half-step divine demon, I'll leave it to you. Leave it to me? Lin Yi was stunned and thought, if you knew you couldn't handle him, why were you so arrogant? Jian Wushuang naturally knew what Lin Yi was thinking, and smiled. Don't worry. Is only a half-step divine demon. With your abilities, you can kill him easily. Lin Yi was even more furious. Killing a half-step divine demon? Easy. What a joke. Jian Wushuang whispered something. Uncle Lin Yi, listen to me, just demonstrate your deadliest sword move. Lin Yi looked at Jian Wushuang, confused, unaware of his motives. He only wanted to tangle with Yang Qiu for a while longer while reinforcements came. He needed to preserve divine power. But Jian Wushuang wanted him to use his strongest sword move. He had his doubts, but he made a decision and chose to listen to Jian Wushuang. Let's try it then. If I can't fight it I can still escape, and it is Jian Wushuang that will die. Lin Yi hesitated no more. Wang. A powerful sword essence swept the area as the shapeless sword essence formed a huge sword essence storm. Lin Yi was at the center of that storm, turning into a sharp sword himself. The swordsmanship had not been performed yet, but the sword momentum was there. Lin Yi squinted his eyes as he looked extremely cold. The void around him turned chilly. Such a great sword essence, it'll be strong, Jian Wushuang smiled. He could feel that Lin Yi's sword move was going to be extraordinary, and thus he made preparations as well. Jian Wushuang did not move, and nor did his Blood Mountain sword, but in his mind, a great soul power was precipitating. After reincarnation, even though Jian Wushuang had had to retrain his cultivation base, his soul was intact. His soul was not damaged, and its power was still at chaotic realm pinnacle levels, perhaps even half-step divine demon. As long as his cultivation base was restored to chaotic divine demon levels, his soul power would ascend accordingly. Half-step divine demon's soul power was being mobilized by Jian Wushuang. In the void, Lin Yi's sword was finally formed and charged. A bright sword light could be seen, so glaring and dazzling people could not help but close their eyes. The move was so powerful it could have split the earth. After it left Lin Yi's hand, the sword cut through the void and appeared in front of Yang Qiu. The huge sword essence storm followed the sword light as well. It was a powerful sword. From Jian Wushuang's perception, it was as strong as a half-step divine demon's full blow. It should have been easy to kill peak chaotic realm experts, but not half-step divine demons directly. At least to Lin Yi, his direct blow could not do much. Yang Qiu laughed in disdain as he saw Jian Wushuang make his move as well. "A firefly like you dares to contend with the light of the sun?" Yang Qiu said coldly, and released his divine power, preparing to destroy Lin Yi's sword. But at that moment, Jian Wushuang in the void had a sudden murderous intent in his eyes. Soul secret skill, 3 divine lights. Xiu. A golden beam completely precipitated from soul power and rushed over at an incredible speed. The golden beam was murky, no one could have spotted it if one did not look closely. It was demonstrated slower than Lin Yi's sword, but before the sword struck, the murky sword light had already struck Yang Qiu. The soul power within that golden beam struck Yang Qiu's soul directly. Yang Qiu was a half-step divine demon with strong soul power, but without any precautions, his soul was deeply hurt as well. Ah! A painful scream was let out by Yang Qiu as the divine power he had gathered now dissipated. Yang Qiu's eyes were in a frenzy, hands over his head. It was obvious that the person was in great pain. Yang Qiu was no longer able to dodge Lin Yi's sword light. Hong! The terrifying sword light struck Yang Qiu's holy body without obstruction. Yang Qiu was a half-step divine demon, but without demonstrating any ways to block it, it was impossible to block such a terrifying sword directly. Yang Qiu's holy body blasted open and started collapsing. After a moment, the half-step divine demon from Water Fairy Island was dead. Chapter 23-22 His words dead, Hes dead. Lin Yi froze there completely. He could not believe that the half-step divine demon Yang Qiu had died under his sword. No matter how strong his sword was, the half-step divine demon expert could not have stood there and simply absorbed the hit without any resistance. But that had just happened. It's a soul attack. Yang Qiu was stuck with a terrifying soul attack, and it came from. Lin Yi looked at Jian Wushuang. It was because Jian Wushuang's soul attack had immobilized Yang Qiu, giving him the opportunity to kill him. How? Little Wushuang is only a pure sun realm. How did he manage to do such a terrifying soul attack? Lin Yi was shocked. What he did not know was that Jian Wushuang was indeed a pure sun realm expert in terms of cultivation base, but his soul power was stronger than that of a peak chaotic realm like him. A sudden golden light scripture from the 3 divine lights performed by Jian Wushuang was what caught Yang Qiu by surprise. It's a pity that the soul-swallowing pearl did not follow me through reincarnation. If not, that soul attack would have done much more than injure, Jian Wushuang said quietly. In his previous life, his soul attacks had been extremely powerful and had had his soul-swallowing pearl to complement it. The soul-swallowing pearl was powerful and had helped with Jian Wushuang's soul attacks immensely. Unfortunately, when his master had sent him down the reincarnation passage, only his soul, the Blood Mountain sword, and the Mountain River map had followed. Even now, he had no clue where the Mountain River map was. Other treasures like the 5-gem armor, the soul-swallowing pearl, the 5-fire godly spirit mirror and more, were all left back at the eternal chaotic world. Uncle Lin Yi, Yang Qiu's dead, but has a half-step divine demon, after all. Check the Qian Kuan ring, Jian Wushuang said. Qian Kuan ring? Lin Yi's eyes lit up. A half-step divine demon from a big sect like the Water Fairy Island was bound to possess lots of treasures. But Lin Yi frowned immediately, and said, "Little Wu Shuang, I did not do much in killing Yang Qiu. It was your soul attack. The items in Yang Qiu and the other 4 Chaotic Realm Experts' Chen Kuan rings should belong to you. No, I'm only a pure Sun Realm, I cannot kill a half-step divine demon. Yang Qiu was killed by you only. The other 4 as well, you understand, Uncle Lin Yi?" Jian Wushuang looked at Lin Yi right in the eyes. Lin Yi understood what Jian Wushuang was trying to do. Jian Wushuang did not want too much attention. After all, a pure Sun Realm taking down 4 Chaotic Realm Experts with 1 sword, and seriously injuring a half-step divine demon with 1 soul attack, would bring attention not only from Anzhou Commandery but from the entire Wuxia Baron region. Jian Wushuang had already gained much attention within the Anzhou Commandery for his name. If word of what had just happened spread, countless experts would have their eyes on him. Understood, I know what to do. I won't spill a word about what happened today. Even if the Lin family head asks, I'll insist I did it alone, Lin Yi said. Jian Wushuang had helped his sword principal achieve a breakthrough previously. Lin Yi was grateful to Jian Wushuang. He knew that Jian Wushuang was in a tough spot, of course, and he would help Jian Wushuang wherever he could. Thank you, Uncle Lin Yi, Jian Wushuang smiled. 4 Yang Qius and the other 4 experts' Chen Kuan ring, the items inside all belong to you. If I could have some elixir that boosts divine power, or some natural treasures, that would be great. No problem, Lin Yi nodded. Immediately, he searched through the Chen Kuan rings. He sorted them out with Jian Wushuang. Experts from big clans like the Water Fairy Island Yang Qiu indeed possessed much richer treasures. There were 3 nature treasures in total. Lin Yi was elated upon its discovery, but Jian Wushuang could not have cared less. Jian Wushuang only wanted the elixirs that improved divine power. Soon they sorted out the treasures. Little Wushuang, let's wait, the reinforcements will arrive soon, Lin Yi said. Okay, Jian Wushuang nodded. They waited quietly along the mountain range. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Countless flowing lights arrived at amazing speeds and appeared in front of Jian Wushuang and Lin Yi. Head, Lin Yi said. Lin Yi, what happened? Weren't you being intercepted by Zhuge family experts? Where are they? Lin Taifeng asked. Head, we were indeed intercepted. The opponents were 4 chaotic realms and 1 half-step divine demon. But the half-step divine demon was not as strong as I thought. The enemy was too reckless, and died under my sword, including the 4 chaotic realms, Lin Yi said directly. Those were the words he had thought of previously. Without a doubt, Lin Taifeng began questioning him. You mean you killed the half-step divine demon? Lin Taifeng would believe he had killed those 4 chaotic realms. But Lin Yi alone, taking down a half-step divine demon? He could never believe that. Yes, Lin Yi replied. He knew Lin Taifeng would not believe it, but he said it anyway. Jian Wushuang added, Uncle Lin, the half-step divine demon indeed died by Uncle Lin Yi's hand. He achieved a breakthrough in sword principle after the meditation, crossing over the threshold of sword principle. He already has half-step divine demon powers. The opponent underestimated Uncle Lin Yi from the very beginning. Although he had his doubts, as Lin Taifeng looked across the battlefield, the void had been filled with Lin Yi's sword essence. Along with Jian Wushuang's testimony, Lin Taifeng finally managed to believe some of it. Chapter 23-22 His words dead, Hes dead. Lin Yi froze there completely. He could not believe that the half-step divine demon Yang Qiu had died under his sword. No matter how strong his sword was, the half-step divine demon expert could not have stood there and simply absorbed the hit without any resistance. But that had just happened. It's a soul attack. Yang Qiu was stuck with a terrifying soul attack, and it came from. Lin Yi looked at Jian Wushuang. It was because Jian Wushuang's soul attack had immobilized Yang Qiu, giving him the opportunity to kill him. How? Little Wushuang is only a pure Sun realm, how did he manage to do such a terrifying soul attack? Lin Yi was shocked. What he did not know was that Jian Wushuang was indeed a pure Sun realm expert in terms of cultivation base, but his soul power was stronger than that of a peak chaotic realm like him. A sudden golden light scripture from the 3 divine lights performed by Zhen Wushuang was what caught Yang Qiu by surprise. It's a pity that the soul-swallowing pearl did not follow me through reincarnation. If not, that soul attack would have done much more than injure, Zhen Wushuang said quietly. In his previous life, his soul attacks had been extremely powerful and had had his soul-swallowing pearl to complement it. The soul-swallowing pearl was powerful and had helped with Zhen Wushuang's soul attacks immensely. Unfortunately, when his master had sent him down the reincarnation passage, only his soul, the Blood Mountain Sword, and the Mountain River map had followed. Even now, he had no clue where the Mountain River map was. Other treasures like the 5-gem armor, the soul-swallowing pearl, the 5-fire godly spirit mirror and more, were all left back at the eternal chaotic world. Uncle Lin Yi, Yang Qiu's dead, but has a half-step divine demon, after all. Check the Qian Kuan ring, Zhen Wushuang said. Qian Kuan ring? Lin Yi's eyes lit up. A half-step divine demon from a big sect like the Water Fairy Island was bound to possess lots of treasures. But Lin Yi frowned immediately, and said, Little Wushuang, I did not do much in killing Yang Qiu. It was your soul attack. The items in Yang Qiu and the other 4 chaotic realm experts' Qian Kuan rings should belong to you. No, I'm only a pure sun realm, I cannot kill a half-step divine demon. Yang Qiu was killed by you only. The other 4 as well, you understand, Uncle Lin Yi? Zhen Wushuang looked at Lin Yi right in the eyes. Lin Yi understood what Zhen Wushuang was trying to do. Zhen Wushuang did not want too much attention. After all, a pure sun realm taking down 4 chaotic realm experts with 1 sword, and seriously injuring a half-step divine demon with 1 soul attack, would bring attention not only from Anzhou Commandery but from the entire Wuxia Baron region. Zhen Wushuang had already gained much attention within the Anzhou Commandery for his name. If word of what had just happened spread, countless experts would have their eyes on him. Understood, I know what to do. I won't spill a word about what happened today. Even if the Lin family head asks, I'll insist I did it alone, Lin Yi said. Zhen Wushuang had helped his sword principal achieve a breakthrough previously. Lin Yi was grateful to Zhen Wushuang. He knew that Zhen Wushuang was in a tough spot, of course, and he would help Zhen Wushuang wherever he could. Thank you, Uncle Lin Yi, Zhen Wushuang smiled. 4 Yang Qius and the other 4 experts' Qian Kuan ring, the items inside all belong to you. If I could have some elixir that boosts divine power, or some natural treasures, that would be great. No problem, Lin Yi nodded. Immediately, he searched through the Qian Kuan rings. He sorted them out with Zhen Wushuang. Experts from big clans like the Water Fairy Island Yang Qiu indeed possessed much richer treasures. There were 3 nature treasures in total. Lin Yi was elated upon its discovery, but Zhen Wushuang could not have cared less. Zhen Wushuang only wanted the elixirs that improved divine power. Soon they sorted out the treasures. Little Wushuang, let's wait, the reinforcements will arrive soon, Lin Yi said. Okay, Zhen Wushuang nodded. They waited quietly along the mountain range. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Countless flowing lights arrived at amazing speeds and appeared in front of Zhen Wushuang and Lin Yi. Head, Lin Yi said. Lin Yi, what happened? Weren't you being intercepted by Zhuge family experts? Where are they? Lin Taifeng asked. Head, we were indeed intercepted. The opponents were 4 chaotic realms and 1 half-step divine demon. But the half-step divine demon was not as strong as I thought. The enemy was too reckless, and died under my sword, including the 4 chaotic realms, Lin Yi said directly. Those were the words he had thought of previously. Without a doubt, Lin Taifeng began questioning him. You mean you killed the half-step divine demon? Lin Taifeng would believe he had killed those 4 chaotic realms. But Lin Yi alone, taking down a half-step divine demon? He could never believe that. Yes, Lin Yi replied. He knew Lin Taifeng would not believe it, but he said it anyway. Zhen Wushuang added, Uncle Lin, the half-step divine demon indeed died by Uncle Lin Yi's hand. He achieved a breakthrough in sword principle after the meditation, crossing over the threshold of sword principle. He already has half-step divine demon powers. The opponent underestimated Uncle Lin Yi from the very beginning. Although he had his doubts, as Lin Taifeng looked across the battlefield, the void had been filled with Lin Yi's sword essence. Along with Jian Wushuang's testimony, Lin Taifeng finally managed to believe some of it. Chapter 23-24 Returning to Incineration Moon City. Incineration Moon City, the governor's mansion. Zhuo Yunfeng, Luo Xinqin, and many guards and servants had received news of Jian Wushuang's return and were waiting for him at the gate. Father, mother, Jian Wushuang bowed to the parents of his current life. Haha, it's been almost 4 years, boy. You've grown taller. Zhuo Yunfeng looked at Jian Wushuang and smiled. Not just taller, more mature. Luo Xinqin smiled as she squeezed Jian Wushuang's cheeks. Jian Wushuang was comforted. Regardless of the Zhuo Yunfeng couple of this life, or the Jian Nantian couple of his previous, they were all his closest family. Brother Lin Yi, oh, brother Lin Ao is here as well? Zhuo Yunfeng noticed the 2 Lin family experts that had escorted Jian Wushuang. Thank you so much. No problem, the young lord has helped the Lin family quite a bit during this period of time. It's natural we return the favor, orders from our head, Lin Ao said. You're too kind, Zhuo Yunfeng replied. Brother Zhuo. Lin Yi's gaze turned solemn. To be honest, I was the only one escorting him back today. But little Wushuang was intercepted by Zhuge family experts. Luckily, we survived. Lin Ao followed us afterwards as a safety precaution. Intercepted? Zhuo Yunfeng's face changed. Intercepted by a half-step divine demon. It was serious, Lin Ao said. Zhuo Yunfeng's frown grew deeper. Luo Xinqin beside asked Jian Wushuang worriedly, Shuang, are you okay then? Of course, thanks to Uncle Lin Yi. Jian Wushuang smiled. We are grateful, Zhuo Yunfeng thanked them once again. After they exchanged greetings, Zhuo Yunfeng wanted to invite Lin Yi and Lin Ao to stay for a few days, but Jian Wushuang dragged them to a corner. I have something I would like the 2 of you to help with, Jian Wushuang asked humbly. No problem, Lin Yi was impressed by Jian Wushuang's skills and agreed immediately. The both of you should leave the Incineration Moon City immediately, but don't go too far. Come back quietly at night, and hide within the Incineration Moon City, Jian Wushuang said. Little Wushuang, you mean? Lin Yi and Lin Ao looked at Jian Wushuang. They understood Jian Wushuang's intentions. If the Zhuge family tried to kill me once, they will try again. Although I'm safe with my father at the Incineration Moon City, as a safety precaution, I hope both of you will stay for a month, no longer than that. If the Zhuge family does not make their move by then, they probably will not anymore. If they do, at least you can help me, Jian Wushuang said. Understood, Lin Mansion should be safe by the end of the month anyway. Well, stay in the city for a month, Lin Ao said directly. Thank you both, but please be careful, Jian Wushuang said. Understood, Lin Yi and Lin Ao replied and left. Soon, under the gaze of many, they left the city openly. But not long after, they returned without a trace. Within the governor's mansion, the Zhuo Yunfeng couple and Jian Wushuang gathered together. Shuang, how have you been these 4 years? Zhuo Yunfeng asked. Not bad, they took care of me well. I ate well, slept well, Jian Wushuang smiled. Rascal, who asked you about that? How's your cultivation? Zhuo Yunfeng laughed as he scolded him. As his father, Zhuo Yunfeng was most concerned with Jian Wushuang's abilities and speed of growth. Luo Xinqin could not have cared less for those, as long as Jian Wushuang was happy. My cultivation base improved quite a bit, and my sword principle as well, Jian Wushuang said as a divine power aura was released from him. This is pure sun realm? Zhuo Yunfeng was shocked. How could it be? When you left, you were only an early transformed god, but you reached pure sun realm levels in 4 years. What Zhuo Yunfeng did not know was that Jian Wushuang had concealed his divine power, releasing only early pure sun realm levels. If Zhuo Yunfeng knew he had already reached mid-pure sun realm levels, he would have been even more shocked. I got lucky, Jian Wushuang said casually. Rascal, you surprise me by the day. If you didn't show your divine power aura, even I could not have guessed. What kind of aura concealment skill did you learn? Zhuo Yunfeng asked. I learnt it a long time ago within the mansion, but I forgot what skill was it. It's good though, Zhen Wushuang smiled. Is it? Zhuo Yunfeng had his doubts. The secret skills within the mansion were all his, but he did not recall one with such powerful aura concealment skills. Zhen Wushuang did not explain further. He had roamed the world for 100,000 years in his past life, learning countless skills, the aura concealment skill included. Even true divine demons would not be able to tell if he did not reveal his aura himself. Forget it, I will not ask too much. But what happened on the way back? Why was there a half-step divine demon going after you? Zhuo Yunfeng frowned. Luo Xinqin looked over as well. Zhen Wushuang briefly recounted what had happened at the Lin mansion without concealing anything, including the part where he had defeated Zhuge Hong. That's what happened, huh? Zhuo Yunfeng's face darkened. The Zhuge family and Lin family had been fighting for years. Now that the Zhuge family is finally slightly stronger than the Lin family, along with Zhuge Hong, I think they are about to finally make their move. Chapter 23-25. Chaotic Realm. As a half-step divine demon expert, Zhuo Yunfeng had seen much of the world. He knew in an instant what the Zhuge family was planning. Shuang, you did right this time, Zhuo Yunfeng said. Lin Taifeng and I are blood-sworn brothers. If the Lin family is in trouble, I would help no matter what. You did the right thing defeating Zhuge Hong there. Zhen Wushuang shrugged his shoulders. He knew his father well. If I'm not wrong, the Zhuge family will make their move soon. If they dared to attack me, it means that they were prepared. Even if you help the Lin family, father, I'm afraid it won't change much, Zhen Wushuang said. And if they come, you may die along with the Lin family. Looks like I need to restore my own powers as soon as possible. My cultivation base should at least be at the chaotic realm level in order to fight the Zhuge family. Zhen Wushuang knew clearly that without his soul attack, he would struggle against a peak chaotic realm expert. Zhuge family could simply send a half-step divine demon to kill him. He could not influence the battle with his fighting power. But if he restored his chaotic realm cultivation base, things would be different. If I train normally, it'll take me 4 to 5 years to go from middle pure sun realm to early stage chaotic realm. But with the elixirs and natural treasures by my side, I should improve fast enough. I can only hope it'll be faster than the Zhuge family. Zhen Wushuang's gaze flashed with a ray of fine light. Afterwards, Zhen Wushuang stayed in the governor's mansion, improving his divine power with the elixirs and natural treasures. At the same time, Lin Yi and Lin Ao remained hiding within the incineration moon city in case anything happened within the governor's mansion. A month passed, and the mansion remained peaceful. Guess the Zhuge family is not so stupid after all. Zhen Wushuang sat in his room, reading a jade bamboo strip. He had guessed that the Zhuge family would not attack him for a second time after the first failure. It would be too difficult for them. But as a safety precaution, Zhen Wushuang had still requested that Lin Yi and Lin Ao stay for an extra month, but it was obviously in vain. After a month passed, Lin Yi and Lin Ao naturally left the incineration moon city and returned back to the Lin mansion. Zhen Wushuang remained peaceful and continued to improve his divine power cultivation base. Time passed. In a flash, 3 years passed. Zhen Wushuang became 19 years old that year. In the absolute beginning divine world, that made him an adult. In a secret room within the governor's mansion, Zhen Wushuang sat alone with his eyes shut as strong divine power surrounded him. The divine power was converging towards him wildly, striking the barrier within his own body. In 2 hits, the barrier collapsed. He had had a breakthrough. Zhen Wushuang's divine power and holy body had begun to change. Chaotic realm, I'm finally here. Zhen Wushuang opened his eyes, evidently surprised. He now possessed early-stage chaotic realm powers, equivalent to a Sir God's, but Zhen Wushuang was still far from his pinnacle cultivation base. But it was enough to delight him. The leap between the pure sun realm and the chaotic realm was a big one. Crossing it meant Zhen Wushuang's abilities would leap forward as well. More importantly, he could now learn many secret skills. I thought it would take me 3 to 4 years, and indeed it took exactly 3 years. Faster than I had imagined, Jian Wushuang thought with a smile. If he allowed Zhuo Yunfeng to know his cultivation base, he would be shocked. Jian Wushuang had shown him an early Pure Sun Realm cultivation base, but if he were to jump to Chaotic Realm just 3 years later, the cultivating speed, it would be mind-blowing. The entire Anzhou Commandery, or even the Wuxia Baron region, had not heard of anyone reaching Chaotic Realm levels before the age of 20. But now Jian Wushuang had done it. Of course, Jian Wushuang could reach those levels only because his own cultivation base had long ago reached divine demon levels. He was simply restoring divine power. As long as he had enough divine power, he could break through without any trouble. In terms of the accumulation of divine power, the absolute beginning divine world's spiritual influence of heaven and earth was rich, in addition to his perfect chaotic lifeform body absorbing them at terrifying speeds, along with more elixirs and natural treasures. Reaching Chaotic Realm at the age of 19 seemed normal. If he continued to recover at that speed, he would restore his chaotic divine demon levels within a decade. But after he stepped into divine demon levels, his cultivating speeds would slow down. In the previous life, as an inverse cultivator, when I first stepped into Chaotic Realm levels, my divine power was strong enough to fight against peak Chaotic Realms. Along with the explosive power granted by my bloodline of ancient clan, my powers were even stronger than those of peak Chaotic Realm experts. But in this life, although I no longer possess the bloodline of ancient clan, as a perfect chaotic lifeform, my divine powers, Jian Wushuang murmured as he clenched his right fist, accumulating an explosive power. Jian Wushuang punched the nearby void. Peng! A violent wind-crackling sound could be heard as the space within the void rippled subtly. This power should be good against a half-step divine demon. Jian Wushuang was pleased. He had just stepped into the Chaotic Realm, but his divine powers now rivaled a half-step divine demon? How? And am not a complete perfect chaotic lifeform yet. When I reach my pinnacle state as a chaotic divine demon, I wonder how terrifying it'll be. Jian Wushuang clenched his fists in anticipation. Chapter 23-26, 5 Great Secret Skills, Part 1. Upon reaching Chaotic Realm levels, Jian Wushuang's power went through dramatic changes. If he encountered the half-step divine demon Yang Qiu, even without Lin Yi he could easily kill him with his own power. After all, with his rules of power along with his sword principle understanding, as long as his divine powers could demonstrate half-step divine demon levels, he could easily kill Yang Qiu. After reaching Chaotic Realm levels, he could start training many secret skills as well. The secret skills referred to the 6 great secret skills his master had left in his head after he had been reincarnated. The most powerful secret skill of the 6 was his master's Heaven Slaughter skill. As the first perfect chaotic lifeform, how powerful would Shen Yi's self-created Heaven Slaughter skill be? He dare not speculate before he trained it. The qualifications for the Heaven Slaughter skill were too high. He needed to reach chaotic divine demon levels first. So, he could only train the 5 great secret skills from the 7-star Black Sect. They were the secret skill of 7 stars, 9-star armor, Punisher God, Exquisite Pagoda, and the Body of Eternity. The 5 great secret skills had had a great reputation during 7-star Black Sect's prime. All 5 secret skills were extremely powerful, and countless experts craved it. But as the 7-star Divine Realm perished and the remaining experts stuck at the 7-star Divine Realm, the 5 great secret skills were no longer to be seen on the absolute beginning divine world. But Jian Wushuang now possessed all 5 of them. In the secret room, Jian Wushuang started analyzing it. He had analyzed it before, so he already understood most of it. First was the secret skill of 7 stars. He was most familiar with this secret skill. The secret skills of Star Palace he had trained in the eternal chaotic world had originated from this secret skill of 7 stars and had depended heavily on it to escape from life and death situations. But the secret skills of Star Palace and the true secret skill of 7 stars were obviously different. The secret skills of Star Palace had been passed down in the eternal chaotic world after his master Shen Yi's modification. The eternal chaotic world lacked the willpower of Heaven Wei, and therefore the balance of much could be disrupted. With the secret skills of Star Palace, The first scroll increased his fighting power tenfold. The second scroll, 100-fold. The third scroll, 1,000-fold. The secret skill was unbelievable. But in reality, the secret skills of Star Palace could only be demonstrated in the eternal chaotic world. In the absolute beginning divine world, with heaven way around, there was no way a secret skill could increase one's power by 100 times. No secret skill was capable of such a thing. Although the complete secret skill of 7 stars was impressive, it was not as amazing as the one he had learned back at the eternal chaotic world. The true secret skill of 7 stars concentrated star power as well, but the star power would instead concentrate into the person's holy body, merging perfectly with their divine power and blood essence. The star power would improve the person's own cultivation base. The secret skill of 7 stars had 3 scrolls as well. The first scroll elevated anyone below an undying saint by half a realm. The second scroll elevated anyone below an undying saint by a full realm. The third scroll elevated anyone below an undying saint by 2 realms, and elevated anyone beyond an undying saint by half a realm. Jian Wushuang was left speechless as he read through the information related to the secret skill of 7 stars. Within the absolute beginning divine world, even though the secret skill of 7 stars was not as outrageous due to Heaven Way, it was still terrifying. It could directly elevate one's own cultivation base. The 3 scrolls would help one immensely. Especially the third scroll. Once that was learnt, anyone below an undying saint would be elevated by 2 realms. Say, if an early-stage chaotic realm expert were to learn that third scroll, he could reach the peak chaotic realm in an instant. That was the elevation of 2 realms. Elevating half a realm above the undying saint was even more impressive. An undying saint was one of the strongest experts in the absolute beginning divine world. Even a little improvement meant a lot to an undying saint, and was very hard to achieve. Now, if they knew they could be elevated by half a realm instantly with the help of the secret skill, many undying saints would kill for it. Thanks, it is indeed one of the strongest secret skill the 7-star Black Sect has to offer. It may not be as good as the secret skills of Star Palace, but in the absolute beginning divine world, this would help immensely, Jian Wushuang said in admiration. He was very content with it. Of course, as a chaotic realm, it was hard to learn all 3 scrolls in one shot, he could only learn the first. Even so, his powers would improve immensely. Next, Jian Wushuang read the 9-star armor. He had seen Emperor Bai demonstrate the 9-star armor before, and knew how powerful it was. It was also one of 7-star Black Sect's strongest secret skills. But after reading its details, Jian Wushuang shook his head. An early-stage chaotic realm could indeed train it, but one needed lots of resources. More importantly, one needed to create their own life armor. The life armor was different from any other armor. The life armor needed to be created with the cultivator's own blood essence, linking the armor to the host itself. If the life armor got damaged, the host would be injured as well. And the life armor could only be used by the creator. The 9-star armor was a secret skill that complemented the life armor. The resources required for the 9-star armor cultivation were nothing, but creating a life armor will be a different matter, Jian Wushuang murmured. Chapter 23-27, 5 Great Secret Skills, Part 2. He had learnt from Emperor Bai back in the eternal chaotic world that it took him a huge amount of time and resources to master the 9-star armor. He now knew it was due to the life armor. It's not easy creating a life armor, Jian Wushuang said. Creating a life armor not only required blood essence but also resources suitable for the armor. Those resources were considered extremely valuable in the absolute beginning divine world as well. At least his Zhuo Yunfeng and the Lin Mansion would definitely not be able to obtain it. Maybe a big sect in the Wuxia Barren region would be willing to sacrifice that much. Next, life armor still needed a master smelter to be created. In the Wuxia Barren region, there were only so many master smelters in the region. Jian Wushuang would not be able to reach them at that moment. Without materials or someone to help smelt it, he could not master the 9-star armor anyway. "I'll put the 9-star armor on hold for now," Jian Wushuang said to himself. The 9-star armor was powerful. Jian Wushuang would never give up on it. He simply put it on hold. Next, Jian Wushuang read the Punisher God. He had seen Emperor Bai demonstrate the terrifying Punisher God before. When Emperor Bai was in full drive, the 99,000-foot-tall Golden Emperor Shadow improved his powers immensely. The Punisher God also had some tricks up its sleeve, like the Punisher's Hell. Jian Wushuang was relatively envious of Emperor Bai then. But even if Emperor Bai had handed him the secret skill in the eternal chaotic world then, it would have been too hard for him to learn. But things were different now. The Punisher God only needs sufficient spiritual influence of heaven and earth and some supplementary treasures to help. Not easy to find in the eternal chaotic world, but easy enough over here. I can do this, Jian Wushuang said with a smile. He was in a better position than Emperor Bai to learn the Punisher God. There were levels to the cultivation of Punisher God as well. The levels could be seen from how tall the Shadow One could precipitate was. The first level would form a 100-foot tall shadow. The second level, 1,000 feet. The third level, 10,000 feet. The fourth level, 100,000 feet. The fifth level, 1,000,000 feet. Jian Wushuang remembered when Emperor Bai had demonstrated the Punisher God in the eternal chaotic world, the shadow reached 99,000 feet high. In terms of levels, Emperor Bai should have been one step away from the fourth level. But in reality, that was not the case. Although Emperor Bai formed a shadow 99,000 feet high then, the secret skill he learnt had always been flawed. It would be easy to keep going, but its true power cannot be released. Even if he had obtained the complete skill afterwards, head pale in comparison to those who had the full skill from the very beginning, Jian Wushuang said. According to the Punisher God information, it was not easy to cultivate it. The third level of Punisher God already required a top chaotic divine demon to master. The only reason Emperor Bai had reached the peak of the third level was because the skill he had learnt was flawed from the very beginning. With my abilities and some time, I should be able to learn the first level of Punisher God, forming a 100-foot tall shadow. This way, my powers will improve too. Jian Wushuang smiled. Of the 5 great secret skills in the 7-star Black Sect, the secret skill of 7 stars, 9-star armor, and Punisher God were all secret skills that improved fighting power. He could learn 2 of the 3 for now. As for the remaining 2, Exquisite Pagoda, Body of Eternity, these are defensive secret skills, Jian Wushuang read on. The Exquisite Pagoda was a soul defense secret skill. After a cultivator reached chaotic realm levels and his consciousness morphed into a soul, the soul would become particularly important. As one's powers grew stronger, the more important his soul would become. Once someone has reached Undying Saint levels and gained the body of Undying, the soul would be their root power. Therefore, soul defense was particularly important. Many experts in the absolute beginning divine world would give up everything in order to improve their soul defense abilities. And as the 5 great secret skills of the 7-star Black Sect, the Exquisite Pagoda was the top 5 soul defense skills in the absolute beginning divine world. It was definitely a soul defense skill countless experts would kill for. After I reincarnated, without my soul swallowing pearl, my soul defense dropped quite a bit. I can make use of this Exquisite Pagoda, Jian Wushuang smiled. He knew that in order to free the people in the 7-star divine realm and meet his closest family and friends on the other side, he needed to prioritize his life. The Exquisite Pagoda would help him with that immensely. Besides the Exquisite Pagoda, there was the Body of Eternity, an equally strong protective secret skill. But Jian Wushuang had no intention to learn it. After all, he already possessed a more suitable protective secret skill. The Body of Eternity can be considered the top 10 protective secret skills in the absolute beginning divine world, but the immemorial celestial body of the ancient clan is probably stronger, Jian Wushuang murmured. Chapter 23-28, about to start. The immemorial celestial body was from the ancient clan. The ancient clan was one of the 4 big holy tribes in the absolute beginning divine world, powerful in both close combat and preservation techniques. The immemorial celestial body was the ancient clan's trump card. When comparing the immemorial celestial body and the Body of Eternity, most would likely agree that the immemorial celestial body was slightly stronger, for it increased the strength of the holy body as well as one's own divine power. The only flaw was that it could only be cultivated by someone that possessed the bloodline of ancient clan, the ancient clan. Therefore, although the secret skill was powerful, it was not very popular in the absolute beginning divine world. Because even if absolute beginning divine world cultivators were to obtain the secret skill, they could not learn it. Jian Wushuang had possessed the bloodline of ancient clan in his past life, and the immemorial celestial body had helped him immensely. But after reincarnation, he had lost everything except his soul. Naturally, he had lost the bloodline of ancient clan as well. However, Jian Wushuang soon realized that he could still practice the secret skills of the ancient clan. The ancient clan secret skills all required the bloodline of ancient clan, but Jian Wushuang could perform them easily. Jian Wushuang then realized that as a perfect chaotic life form, he was the origin of all living beings, therefore he had the bloodline of ancient clan somewhere within him as well. And it does not stop there. Even if the other three holy tribes had secret skills that needed their unique bloodline power, as long as Jian Wushuang had the secret skill, there was no stopping him. The body of eternity was impressive, but Jian Wushuang would definitely prefer the immemorial celestial body if he could learn it. The 5 great secret skills. I can learn the secret skill of 7 stars, Punisher God, Exquisite Pagoda. Add the immemorial celestial body into the mix, and I should have enough to roam these lands freely, Jian Wushuang murmured. After making a decision, Jian Wushuang started making his move. In addition, he went directly to his father Zhuo Yunfeng for his help at searching some cultivating resources. Zhuo Yunfeng had high hopes for Jian Wushuang and naturally did his best after learning that those resources would do good for Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang did not waste time either and soon started his training. In the blink of an eye, 2 months passed. Jian Wushuang was still cultivating the secret skills, but he had to stop. The Zhuge family was about to make their move. Governor's mansion, within the hall. Brother Lin has sent a message to me. I'll make my way to the Lin mansion tomorrow to assist them, Zhuo Yunfeng said solemnly. Luo Xinqin beside him frowned worriedly. They are finally making their move. Jian Wushuang squinted and said, Father, I'll follow you to the Lin mansion tomorrow. Nonsense, Zhuo Yunfeng berated him. You think this is a game? The Zhuge family is determined to exterminate the Lin family this time. Any misstep would lead to dire circumstances. Even I may not survive then. How could you help? You'll be seeking an early death. Father, the Zhuge family have had their eyes on me since I returned 3 years ago. They even sent a half-step divine demon to kill me. Even though they failed, they will not give up. The reason why they have not made their move since is that you are still here. The moment you leave and the Zhuge family hears the word of it, do you think Mother and I will be safe in the mansion? Jian Wushuang said calmly. Zhuo Yunfeng flinched. He remembered that Jian Wushuang had once been chased down by the Zhuge family. As for what Jian Wushuang said, if he left the governor's mansion, and the Zhuge family assassins came. Okay, for your safety, follow me to the Lin mansion tomorrow. But when we reach it, follow our arrangements. If the Lin mansion can no longer be defended, I will arrange someone to help both of you escape. Do not hesitate at that time, Zhuo Yunfeng said solemnly. That moment will not come, Father. Even if it does, we can escape, Jian Wushuang replied. Okay, Zhuo Yunfeng nodded. He did not notice how determined and cold Jian Wushuang's gaze was. Jian Wushuang had long known that his father was prepared to die with the Lin family. If the Lin family could no longer fend off the Zhuge family, Zhuo Yunfeng would definitely fight to the death alongside Lin Taifeng. That was not what Jian Wushuang wanted. Unfortunately, it's only been 2 months since I made a breakthrough to chaotic realm levels. Besides the first scroll of the immemorial celestial body, I have not mastered the rest. The odds are not good, Jian Wushuang murmured. He had wasted no time training those past 2 months. But he needed more time. The resources he needed for Punisher God had not arrived like his father had promised. Although he had cultivated the first scroll of the immemorial celestial body, it had not boosted his powers immensely. But he remained confident that he could go against normal chaotic divine demons. Regardless, I will not let anything be done to my parents. Not the past life, Not now. Jian Wushuang clenched his fist as a hint of murderous intent swept through his gaze. The Zhuge family tried to take my life. I had no grudges. But if they dare mess with family, they will have to get through me first. The next day, Jian Wushuang and his parents, along with some chaotic realm guards, left for the Lin mansion. They arrived smoothly a few days later. At the Lin family, the head was waiting at the gate. Under normal circumstances, a half-step divine demon would not have been worthy of the Lin family head to welcome personally, but Shui Yunfeng was different. Everyone in the Anzhou commandery knew that Shui Yunfeng and Lin Taifeng were sworn brothers. Even though some experts would hesitate or even reject Lin family's pleas for help, Shui Yunfeng did not hesitate and was instead the first to arrive. Chapter 23-29, Lin Dao, Thunder Sound Sect. Haha, Brother Zhuo. Lin Taifeng smiled broadly as he greeted his guests. Brother Lin, it's been a few years. How have you been? Zhuo Yunfeng smiled as well. Thank you for coming this time, Lin Taifeng said solemnly. We are brothers, why the formalities? Zhuo Yunfeng complained. Lin Taifeng was left speechless and smiled. He looked at Luo Xinqin and Jian Wushuang at the side. Both of them have decided to come too? Yes, Zhuo Yunfeng replied. The Zhuge family tried to kill Shuang before. I could not leave them back at the mansion without fears of an assassination. Is that so? Lin Taifeng nodded and said, Rest assured, Brother Zhuo. Even if the Lin family was at the brink of extinction, I would do whatever I could to make sure they escape safely. Thank you. Zhuo Yunfeng heaved a sigh of relief. Brother Zhuo, over here. Lin Taifeng waved his hand. The Zhuo family headed inside the Lin mansion. Many Lin mansion experts around them were talking amongst themselves. That's the governor of the incineration moon city. I have heard of the good relations between Governor Zhuo and our head. I guess that was true. Those experts who are on good terms with the Lin family all refused to help us, but now Governor Zhuo is the first one here, with his entire family as well. Looks like they are ready to fight and die alongside us. Oh, did you notice the young man beside him, Jian Wushuang? Of course. He crushed Zhuge Hong's divine weapon 3 years ago with his fingers, saving face for the Lin family. The experts had nothing but respect and admiration for Zhuo Yunfeng and Jian Wushuang. A friend in need was a friend indeed. There was no doubt regarding Zhuo Yunfeng's intentions. Once they had settled down in the Lin mansion, Zhuo Yunfeng and Lin Taifeng went into discussion. Jian Wushuang stayed in the courtyard that he had lived in before. Soon, 2 figures rushed over. They were Lin Yang and Lin Qingqing. Haha, Brother Wushuang. Jian Wushuang could hear Lin Yang's hearty laughter from far and walked out of the room with a smile. Young Lord Wushuang, Lin Qingqing said, her eyes full of respect for Jian Wushuang. In the past 3 years, Jian Wushuang had stayed at the Lin mansion. He had impressed many with his proficiency with the sword principle. After Jian Wushuang had defeated Zhuge Hong, countless more Lin mansion disciples had looked at him in admiration. 3 years had passed, but that sense of admiration had never subsided. Young Lord Yang, young Qingqing, it's been some time, Jian Wushuang greeted them with a smile. Haha, Brother Wushuang. Have you changed much these past 3 years? Lin Yang looked at Jian Wushuang. Same as you, not at all, Jian Wushuang smiled. Lin Yang was considered his first friend in his current life. His character was similar to that of his best buddy Wang Yuan, loud, straightforward, and carefree. Jian Wushuang was pleased to make such friends. Are you prepared for what's to come? Jian Wushuang smiled as he asked Lin Yang. Of course, I've improved quite a bit these past 3 years, you know. If the Zhuge family dares to come, I'll let them have it, Lin Yang replied coldly. Oh! Jian Wushuang lifted his brow. He could tell that Lin Yang's abilities had improved, but he was not at pure sun realm yet, a mere pinnacle transformed god. He was nothing in the war between the Zhuge family. Of course, it's good to have such fighting ambitions. As Jian Wushuang, Lin Yang and Lin Qingqing were talking casually, a Lin mansion disciple ran in hurriedly. Brother Yang, I knew you would be here. The disciple's eyes lit up the moment he saw Lin Yang. I'm reminiscing with Brother Wushuang. What's the matter? Lin Yang frowned. Brother Tao's back, the disciple replied. Oh. Lin Yang flinched, then immediately displayed great joy. So did Lin Qingqing. Brother Dao? Lin Dao? Jian Wushuang smiled faintly. He had learned a bit about the Lin Mansion people in the 3 years he stayed there. He had not met Lin Dao personally, but Jian Wushuang had heard of him. Lin Dao was supposedly the best genius the Lin Mansion had had in centuries. He made the breakthrough to Pure Sun Realm by the age of 20, better than that Zhuge Hong. He had then entered the Chaotic Realm at the age of 27, and entered a sect called the Thundersound Sect, and never returned since. But Lin Dao was back this time. Brother Dao is back. Come, let's go see. Lin Yang was obviously excited and even dragged Jian Wushuang along towards the Lin Mansion gates. Soon they arrived. Sure enough, a few figures stood surrounded by crowds of Lin Mansion disciples and some experts. The man that stood in the center, the handsome young man, was Lin Dao, Lin Mansion's first genius. He smiled and greeted the Lin Mansion experts as the disciples looked at him with admiration. That kind of admiration was different to how they had looked at Jian Wushuang. Their admiration now had frenzy added to the mix. Jian Wushuang was gifted and had defeated Zhuge Hong, but he did not belong to the Lin Mansion in the end. But not for Lin Dao. He was the young disciple's idol. Is that Lin Dao? Jian Wushuang gave Lin Dao a slight glance, but what he really noticed were the 4 behind him. 3 males, 1 female, all young. Jian Wushuang could tell that the 3 men were already at half-step divine demon levels. The woman was stronger, a real chaotic divine demon. 1 chaotic divine demon, 3 half-step divine demon experts. Not only did he rush back himself, he even got help. Jian Wushuang smiled. Chapter 2330. Humility. A half-step divine demon was a rare asset to come by for the fight against the Zhuge family. A chaotic divine demon would certainly help the Lin family even more. Now, Lin Dao brought over a chaotic divine demon and 3 half-step divine demons. Ha, Brother Dao. Lin Qingqing and Lin Yang rushed towards Lin Yang at the first moment they could. Oh, Yang, Qingqing. It's the 2 of you. Lin Dao recognized both of them. It's been over a decade since we last met. You have all grown so much. Lin Dao had left for the Thunder Sound sect at the age of 27. 12 years had passed, and he was already 39. They made some small talk. Come, Brother Dao, let me introduce you to a sword principle genius, Brother Wushuang. My father said his gifts in sword principle were the best in the Anzhou Commandery, and perhaps even in the entire Wuxia Baron region, Lin Yang said as he pointed at Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang flinched and smiled bitterly. Lin Yang was not a good talker. It would have been fine if he had said that to others. But Lin Dao was a genius, and there were definitely many other geniuses in Thunder Sound sect that were proficient in sword principle. Lin Yang's statement would certainly attract unnecessary attention. Indeed, Lin Dao and his 3 half-step divine demons, and even that divine demon beauty, shifted their gazes towards Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang shook his head and said humbly, "Greetings to all, I'm Jian Wushuang." Jian Wushuang? Lin Dao stared at him curiously. Unparalleled in sword principle, what a powerful name. I wonder if your sword principle cultivation base lives up to your name. A black-robed man behind Lin Dao smiled widely with his teeth showing. He had a long sword behind his back, stating the obvious that he was into sword cultivation. The name was given to me by my parents. In terms of sword principle cultivation base, it's not as exaggerated as young Lord Yang claimed. I'm considered ordinary compared to you all from the Thunder Sound sect, Jian Wushuang replied. Modest too, Lin Dao nodded. The black-robed man with the long sword shrugged his shoulders. He had no intention to go after Jian Wushuang after he had put himself down. Yang, you can say that within the Lin Mansion, but not outside. Don't make trouble for him, Lin Dao instructed. But Lin Yang only wanted to say how gifted Jian Wushuang was, but Jian Wushuang pulled his sleeve. Young Lord Dao is right. There are countless talents around, I'm really nothing much compared to the Wuxia Baron region, Jian Wushuang smiled. He did not want to cause any trouble. Lin Yang naturally did not say much. It's nice to see someone with modesty, Lin Dao nodded. Even if the Lin family head said Jian Wushuang was the best in sword principle in the entire Wuxia Baron region, he would take it with a pinch of salt. After all, his worldview had changed the moment he entered the Thunder Sound sect. He knew that the land was unfathomable, and geniuses could be anywhere and everywhere. Even in the Wuxia Baron region, the strongest sword principle genius had dared not claim to be the best in the Wuxia Baron region. Lin Taifeng was a chaotic divine demon, but his worldview was limited to only the Anzhou commandery. His judgment naturally could not mean much then. After some chit-chat, Lin Taifeng and the Lin family top experts welcomed him as well. Lin Taifeng and the rest were naturally excited when they saw the 4 experts Lin Dao being brought over. After a while, everyone congregated at the Lin Mansion's conference hall, including the experts that the Lin Mansion had invited. Zhuo Yunfeng was there as well. Jian Wushuang, on the other hand, hid at a small corner with Lin Yang. Lin Taifeng sat at the front, then stood up and bowed to the crowd in front of him. Thank you all for providing the Lin family with much-needed assistance during dire circumstances like these. Especially the 4 experts from the Thunder Sound sect, led by Fire Fairy. Thank you. You're too kind, head. The chaotic divine demon beauty from the Thunder Sound sect, Fire Fairy, said, Lin Dao is one of the core disciples of the Thunder Sound sect. If his family is in trouble, we will naturally help him, but because we had an agreement amongst clans to not interfere in every single clan or family feud, we can only send over some core disciples here. Please forgive us. Nonsense. We are already eternally grateful for your assistance. Lin Taifeng smiled. There were many sects in the Wuxia Baron region. Some of the clans controlled regions, but most did not. As time passed, the sects had an agreement to not interfere too much in family feuds within the region. Even if they had disciples in that family, the clan could only send a small number of experts to help. Lin Taifeng knew all that and naturally understood. The Thunder Sound sect can't help us completely, and neither can the Dongzhou sect help the Zhuge family too much. They will at most send a chaotic divine demon and some half-step divine demons. The remaining forces will simply be Lin versus the Zhuge family. Lin Tifeng's voice was clear and echoed within the hall. The Zhuge family have been fighting with us for years, we know each other well. We are about equally as powerful, how much stronger can they be? The only reason they dare challenge us is that one half-step divine demon recently ascended into divine demon levels. Even then, it won't be that easy to decimate us. After hearing what Lin Taifeng had to say, the hall was filled with whispers. Many experts invited by the Lin Mansion nodded. The Lin family and Zhuge family had fought for so many years. Even if they had one more person that ascended to chaotic demon levels, even if they had Dongzhou sect's help, they could not destroy the Lin family. After all, the Lin family had the Thunder Sound sect behind them and had invited experts to help at all costs. Chapter 2331. In 10 days Jian Wushuang looked at the crowd strangely as they whispered amongst themselves. Lin Taifeng gave them a pep talk. Jian Wushuang smiled. Lin Yang beside him, on the other hand, was visibly moved by what Lin Taifeng said. He felt that the Lin family could face the Zhuge family without fear. But in reality, Jian Wushuang knew that the Zhuge family had researched the Lin family's actual strength. And they probably knew that the Thunder Sound sect would help as well. Even then, if the Zhuge family dared to make a move, it meant that things were not as simple as they seemed. But he did not know who was backing the Zhuge family. Everyone, please do not leave the premises for now. If I am not wrong, they will attack in 10 days, Lin Taifeng said. 10 days. So fast. Immediately, there was a commotion in the hall. Brother Lin, how could you be so sure? Zhuo Yunfeng frowned. Truth be told, the Zhuge family finished their preparations 3 months ago. They delayed their plans till now as a big shot arrived at Anzhou Commandery 3 months ago, Lin Taifeng replied. The big shot had the Commandery governor come down to welcome the person himself, and I assume all of you know the Commandery governor's style. The Commandery governor has his own job to do. Normally he would turn a blind eye to feuds within the Anzhou Commandery, But if the commandery governor himself had to greet this big shot, and the Zhuge family attacked at that time, it would bring great shame to the commandery governor. Everyone finally understood. Although the commandery governor was only a chaotic divine demon, his title was indeed worthy of some respect. After all, the commandery governor not only settled administrative affairs within the commandery, if there were experts in the commandery, he would recommend them to the sects himself. Normally, the commandery governor would provide the genius with options. But if one sect were to offend him, they would likely never receive any genius from that region. The commandery governor would not bother. So, unless necessary, the sects within the Wuxia Baron region dared not offend the commandery governor. If even the sects did as such, the Zhuge family would not dare to offend the commandery governor. The Zhuge family dare not make their move while the commandery governor entertains his guest, but according to our information, that person will leave the Anzhou commandery in days. With the commandery governor's character, he will likely continue to retreat back to his own abode, disregarding the feuds within the Anzhou commandery. The Zhuge family will make their move then, Lin Taifeng said. I see. The people in the hall nodded. So, please make your preparations. The enemy will be here in days, Lin Taifeng said solemnly. Rest assured, head, we will do our best, the experts in the hall all replied. At that same moment, the Zhuge family was making their preparations as well. In an exquisite attic, many experts from the Zhuge family gathered, along with some people from the Dongzhuo sect. However, as Lin Taifeng had said, the Dongzhuo sect did not dare send too many experts to join the battle. Only one chaotic divine demon and 4 half-step divine demons were present. The chaotic divine demon was the grey-robed elder beside Zhuge Hong, Elder Chen. According to news from the Lin Mansion, the experts from the Thunder Sound sect have arrived. The Lin Mansion has paid a hefty sum to invite lots of experts as well, a Zhuge family elder said. Haha, we predicted this a long time ago, a tall and sturdy middle-aged man with some stubble replied. He was the Zhuge family head, Zhuge Yuanchong. He had a white-haired elder beside him. He was the previous Zhuge family head, Zhuge Yun. He was the chaotic divine demon that had reached initial success at Sword Principal, recognized as the top sword cultivator in the Anzhou commandery. Of course, he had not yet encountered Zhen Wushuang at that time. Who is the chaotic divine demon the Thunder Sound sect sent? Elder Chen asked. Fire Fairy, Zhuge Yuanchong replied. Ha! Elder Chen's brows lifted and he showed a playful smile. That Fire Fairy was only a Thunder Sound sect disciple 20 years ago, she made it to chaotic divine demon levels through sheer luck. She's a normal 3rd grade divine demon, small fry. According to what I heard, the divine demon that had been training outside has returned to the Lin Mansion. The Lin Mansion head Lin Taifeng is pretty strong as well, a peak 3rd grade divine demon. He could go against you, Elder Chen, Zhuge Yuanchong said. The last time I followed young Lord Hong to the Lin Mansion, although Lin Taifeng did not show himself, I could feel him. He was injured then. I wanted to lure him out, but that plan was messed up by a nobody junior, Elder Chen said. That Zhen Wushuang. Once we wipe out the Lin family, he will have nowhere to escape, Zhuge Hong said coldly as he sat on one of the chairs. That Zhen Wushuang is gifted, so he must be killed. That has me thinking. Did the Lin Mansion not kill a half-step divine demon from the Water Fairy Island? Why has the Water Fairy Island not acted upon it yet? Zhuge Yuanchong frowned. Chapter 2332. I won't allow it. Water Fairy Island was one of the clans that was ranked in the top 10 in the Wuxia Baron region. Both the Dongzhuo sect and the Thunder Sound sect were less powerful than the Water Fairy Island. If the Water Fairy Island wanted to destroy the Lin family, it would be as easy as killing an ant. Zhuge family head, you might not know this, but there are more than 200 chaotic divine demons in the Water Fairy Island and countless extraordinary disciples. Even though Yang Qiu is a disciple of the Water Fairy Island, she is an ordinary disciple and is not an influential person. She is not close to any of the other disciples or elders within the Water Fairy Island. Hence, the Water Fairy Island might not even care at all, Elder Chen said. Even so, she is still a disciple from the Water Fairy Island. If she is killed just like this and the Water Fairy Island does not take revenge for her, won't it be bad for their reputation? Zhuge Yuanchong said. No. The Water Fairy Island will definitely do something for her. After all, she is a disciple from the Water Fairy Island and people cannot just kill her and not pay a price. However, there is no telling when they will take revenge for her. If I am not wrong, there are no disciples or experts from the Water Fairy Island around this area. If one passed by, he would definitely come by. However, knowing the Water Fairy Island, they would just teach the Lin Mansion a lesson. They would not annihilate them to serve as a warning for others, as the Water Fairy Island is already well known by people as a prestigious and powerful clan, Elder Chen said. That is all. Forget it then, we never expected the Water Fairy Island to help us achieve our plan, Zhuge Yuanchong said. All right everyone. Go and prepare. Once that lord leaves the Anzhou prefecture and the commandery governor announces that he is going to shut himself off from the world to cultivate, we will execute our plan. Roger. The experts from the Zhuge family nodded their heads respectfully and left. However, a few chaotic divine demons from the Zhuge family and some of the people from Tianzhua sect stayed behind. Zhuge Hong was one of those who stayed. Soon, the door to the pavilion opened again as a figure fully covered in a black cloak walked in. Greetings, Zhuge family head and the lords from Tianzhua sect. I am Xiong Tuo. The figure bowed slightly as he removed his black cloak, revealing his youthful face. I never expected the Xiong family to send you over. Zhuge Hong looked at Xiong Tuo with great interest. Xiong Tuo was the most talented young man from the Xiong family. He was as talented as Zhuge Hong and a part of a clan. What we are planning to do is too important. My family head is paying much attention to it. Xiong Tuo smiled. Do you ask the Golden Cauldron sect for help? Zhuge Hong asked. I did not ask the experts from my clan for help. We should not need their help, right? Xiong Tuo asked. Yes. With the help of the Tianzhua sect, the overall power level of the Zhuge family is far above that of the Lin family. As long as the Xiong family is willing to help, we can capture the Lin Mansion easily without asking the Golden Cauldron sect for help. Zhuge Yuanchong nodded his head slightly and said. If the experts from the Lin Mansion heard this conversation, they would be shocked. The Xiong family was also one of the 6 top-tier families within the Anzhou prefecture. It was extremely powerful. They had a total of 4 chaotic divine demons and 10 half-step chaotic divine demons. This lineup made the Xiong family the most powerful family in the Anzhou prefecture. And the Zhuge family had allied with the Xiong family. This time, the Xiong family will send 3 chaotic divine demon, 10 half-step chaotic divine demons. Are you satisfied with this lineup? Xiong Tuo asked. Yes, absolutely satisfied. Zhuge Yuanchong's eyes lit up and the remaining people in the room started smiling. The Zhuge family was already more powerful than the Lin family. Now that the Xiong family had provided so many experts, the Lin family would have no way to defeat them if nothing went wrong. Then let us discuss how to split the territory and resources that the Lin family is controlling after we have defeated them. The representatives from both families started discussing. Very quickly, they came to an agreement. Lin Mansion. Brother Wu Shuang. My father has ordered me to bring you to the Purple Virtue Hall when the experts from Zhuge family attacks, Lin Yang said. Purple Virtue Hall? Jian Wu Shuang was stunned. He had been living in the Lin Mansion for around 3 years. He was very familiar with this place. The Purple Virtue Hall was located at the outermost area of the Lin Mansion. It was located near the back door of the mansion. Not just the 2 of us. He has asked me to bring along your mother, Qingqing, the talented young disciples and the important family members along. We will gather at the Purple Virtue Hall and one of the senior brothers will protect us. If the Lin Mansion manages to stop the Zhuge family, everything will be all right. If we cannot, then, Lin Yang fell silent. If they fail, your father will ask Brother Dao and one of the senior brothers to escort us to escape this place, right? Jian Wushuang looked at Lin Yang and finished his sentence. Yes. Lin Yang nodded his head heavily. Jian Wushuang could understand why Lin Taifeng had made this call. Lin Taifeng was the family head. Even though he felt that the Lin family could stop the Zhuge family, he was planning for the worst. If the experts from the Lin family could not stop them, the entire Lin mansion could be massacred. The important people from this family had to escape this massacre immediately. If that were the case, he would order all the experts and disciples from the Lin family to escape. These experts and disciples will cover us and leave the Lin mansion after we left. The reason why we are still here is because the situation is still under control. Furthermore, the Lin mansion will be in a mess if we leave now, Lin Yang said. Your father is doing the right thing. Jian Wushuang nodded his head. If these talented disciples and family members left now, it would show the experts that the Lin mansion had sought help from that the Lin family was not confident in defeating their enemies. Furthermore, if the Zhuge family found out, they would target these disciples and family members. This would result in greater losses. We will follow your father's orders and stay within the Purple Virtue Hall, Jian Wushuang said. Yes. Lin Yang nodded his head in agreement. He then asked, Brother Wushuang, do you think that we will have to evacuate? Nope. Jian Wushuang nodded his head straight away. Why? How are you so confident? Lin Yang looked at Jian Wushuang and asked. Because I will not allow it. Jian Wushuang looked Lin Yang in the eye. He did not elaborate further. In the blink of an eye, 8 days passed. On this day, that lord left, and the commandery governor continued to shut himself away from the rest of the world and cultivate. The Lin family and the Zhuge family received the news at the same time. Chapter 2333, Attack. In front of Zhuge family's gigantic mansion, many figures were floating. Every one of them had an extremely powerful aura. At the front of the crowd, Zhuge Yuanchong was boiling with killing intent. Everyone. The Lin family and the Zhuge family have fought for many years. Countless cultivators from the Zhuge family have died at the hands of the Lin family. Today, we will bring justice to our fallen brothers, Zhuge Yuanchong said coldly. His voice reverberated in the entire space. Onwards, attack the Lin mansion. The experts from the Zhuge family and Tianzhua sect followed his orders and moved. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Hundreds of figures were headed for the Lin mansion and they looked like a nest of bees in the sky. The weakest expert among them was in the chaotic realm. Lin mansion, within the meeting hall. Family head, we have received intel from the scouts that the people from the Zhuge family have entered our territory. They will reach the Lin mansion within half a day, one of the elders from the Lin family said in a serious tone. They are fast, Lin Taifeng muttered to himself. He then commanded, tell the experts from the Lin mansion to prepare for battle. Also, open the Purple Virtue Hall and tell Lin Dao to protect that place well. Roger. The elder left to execute the orders. Hundreds of people gathered within the spacious Purple Virtue Hall. Many of the young disciples and the important family members were here. Jian Wushuang and his mother, Luo Xinqin, were part of the crowd. The door of the hall was closed. Lin Dao and a senior brother who had a sword on his back stood near the door. During the time the Lin family and the Zhuge family were battling it out, they would not allow anyone to enter the Purple Virtue Hall. Of course, this meant that the people within the Purple Virtue Hall could not leave either. The people inside the Purple Virtue Hall could only leave after the battle was over and the Zhuge family had retreated. The other case would be if the Lin family lost this battle, then Lin Shou would open the door and lead everyone to escape the Lin mansion. Senior brother, thank you for protecting the Purple Virtue Hall with me, Lin Dao said to the senior brother standing beside him. This is an easy job. I feel uncomfortable that I cannot fight in at the front line with senior sister Hua and the other experts from the Lin family. Lin Dao laughed awkwardly. Don't worry, junior brother. The Lin mansion is not weak. With the help of senior sister Hua, there shouldn't be any problem fending off the Zhuge family, the man in black clothes said. I hope that is the case. Lin Dao nodded his head. Within the crowd, Jian Wushuang sat on the floor with his mother, Luo Xinqin. Jian Wushuang was calm, while his mother knitted her eyebrows anxiously. She was worried for Zhuge Yunfeng, who would be fighting at the front line. Don't worry, mother. Father will come back safely. Jian Wushuang comforted her. Wushuang, you know your father's temper. It will be best if the Lin family can emerge victorious in this battle. However, he will definitely fight with Lin Taifeng to the end. If that is the case, Luo Xinqin clenched her teeth tightly. Do not worry, mother, that will not happen, Jian Wushuang said to her with confidence. Luo Xinqin was still extremely anxious even after Jian Wushuang comforted her. Seeing this, Jian Wushuang sighed lightly. However, his gaze was extremely sharp. Even though he was within the Purple Virtue Hall and not on the front line, he released his soul power. Once the Lin Mansion could not handle the enemies, he would step in immediately. They are here. Jian Wushuang irises constricted. His soul power covered the entire Lin Mansion. He could sense that a large numbers of figures had descended at the front door of the Lin Mansion. The experts from the Zhuge family had arrived. At the door of the Lin Mansion, a large number of experts from the Lin Mansion stood there. They waited quietly until they saw the figures that resembled a nest of bees appear in the sky. Hundreds of figures appeared in front of them. Zhuge Yuanchong. Lin Taifeng raised his head. Killing intent was burning within his eyes as he glared at Zhuge Yuanchong. Has the day finally come? Ha ha. Lin Taifeng. I have waited for this day for a very long time. It is finally time. Zhuge Yuanchong bellowed with laughter. Humph. I am not here to speak nonsense with you. You are here today to capture the Lin family. It is a pity that you do not have the ability to do so, Lin Taifeng said coldly. What a joke. We have the ability to do so. How could the Lin family stand in my way? Zhuge Yuanchong sneered. He then waved his hands and shouted, experts from the Zhuge family, attack. Kill everyone within this place. Boom. Immediately, the hundreds of figures from the Zhuge family attacked. Stop them. Lin Taifeng waved his hands and shouted. The well-prepared experts from the Lin family and those the Lin family had sought help from charged forward. A full-scale battle started. Zhuge Yuanchong. Lin Taifeng shouted with a gloomy look. He radiated a strong devilish aura and a monstrous killing intent which swept over everyone on the battlefield. He glared at Zhuge Yuanchong, wanting to battle it out with him. Humph. Seems like you have completely recovered from your injuries. It is fine though, as we were prepared for this. Zhuge Yuanchong smiled coldly. He then called out, Elder Chen. Whoosh. A figure in grey clothes appeared in front of Lin Taifeng. It was Elder Chen from the Zuotian sect. The power of the aura that Elder Chen had was on par with that of Lin Taifeng. I have heard that the head of the Lin family has reached the peak of Tier 3 of the Divine Demon Realm. Even though you were severely injured, you fought a Tier 2 chaotic Divine Demon and survived. Today, I will have a taste of your power, Elder Chen said indifferently. Lin Taifeng's face turned dark. He felt pressured when he stood before Elder Chen. He knew that Elder Chen's fighting power was on par with his. If you want to die, don't blame me for killing you. Lin Taifeng roared and attacked. Don't boast about your abilities. Elder Chen smiled in disdain. Two peak Tier 3 chaotic divine demons started their battles, and so did the experts from the Lin family and the Zhuge family. The Lin family was powerful. If not, they would not have been able to compete with the Zhuge family for so many years. The Zhuge family sent every expert they had, 3 chaotic divine demons. They would have 4 chaotic divine demons including Elder Chen. They also had 10 half-step chaotic divine demons and numerous experts in the chaotic realm. This was an extremely powerful lineup. On the other side, the Lin family was not weak. They had 3 chaotic divine demons including Lin Taifeng. They also had more than 10 half-step chaotic divine demons. Their experts in the chaotic realm were more powerful than their enemies. Both sides were equally matched. Except in terms of chaotic divine demons, as the Lin family had one less. Just then, an extremely violent aura swept out from within the Lin mansion and a figure appeared on the battlefield. Chapter 2334, injured. The newly arrived person, a messy blonde short-haired muscular man, showed a beast-like grin and a beaming barbaric craze expression. That's Kwang Shi. It's him. The experts from both sides immediately recognized him. Kwang Shi, an unaffiliated lone divine demon expert in the Anzhou Commandery. However, he was there under the Lin clan's request as he dashed out of Lin Mansion. Kwang Shi giggled with an opened mouth and dashed into the battle the next moment. He began to fight a divine demon expert from the Zhuge clan. Lin clan's divine demons received substantial help from him as the fights between both sides immediately turned more balanced with equal battle prowess and matching abilities. Lin Taifeng, looks like your clan prepared very well this time, huh? You even invited Kwang Shi to be here. I wonder how much you paid him. Zhuge Yuanchong smiled disdainfully. Me. How can I not have some preparations when you made such huge waves coming over? Lin Taifeng humphed coldly. That's also true. However, do you think the Lin clan won't be slaughtered just because you hired Kwang Shi? Perhaps you're underestimating us too much. We are at least 90% confident to win for our clan to dare touch yours. Zhuge Yuanchong grinned mysteriously. It's about time. It's coming. Just as the Lin clan members were wondering what he meant, dozens of figures dashing over from the distant void. In the blink of an eye, they appeared in the void surrounding the battlefield. Among them were 3 leaders, with all of them being chaotic divine demon. Other than that, there were around a dozen pseudo-divine demon realm experts, with the rest being peak chaotic realm. It was a terrifying lineup. Their appearance caused everyone on the battlefield to momentarily stop fighting. Xiongzong. Lin Taifeng gave a deadly stare at one of their leaders, who was a purple-haired middle-aged man. Xiong clan? The Lin clan members were shocked. Xiong clan was one of the top 6 big clans of the Anzhou Commandery. The Lin clan was normally respectful toward the Xiong clan and seldom crossed them. However, why had experts from the Xiong clan shown up? Furthermore, it was obvious they were here to join forces with the Zhuge clan. Clan leader Xiong, the Xiong clan, and Lin clan never had any resentment toward each other. I had never offended you in any way for certain, but why are you here today? Lin Taifeng was trying hard to repress his anger. Haha, Lin Taifeng, you had indeed never crossed the Xiong clan. However, that doesn't mean they won't come looking for you. Zhuge Yuanchong scoffed and laughed. Clan leader Lin, the Xiong clan has earlier come to an agreement with the Zhuge clan. In addition, we have an interclan marriage and also share the same goals with the Zhuge clan, hence we'll have to sacrifice the Lin clan for Xiong clan's benefit, said Xiongzong. Sacrifice? Lin Taifeng burst into great anger. Xiong clan, you're shameless. Clan leader Xiong, don't waste time talking to him. Let's work together and immediately destroy the Lin clan, said Zhuge Yuanchong. Those are exactly my plans. Xiongzong nodded before waving his large hand. Move. Many experts from the Xiong clan instantly began rushing into the battlefield like starving beasts. No. This is bad. The experts from Lin clan were horrified. The Lin clan would not be afraid at all were they to fight the Zhuge clan alone. However, when the Zhuge clan collaborated with the Xiong clan, a great number of Xiong clan experts had immediately rushed over and joined the battle, which caused a huge gap between both sides' battle power. The Lin clan experts were immediately suppressed. Inside the Zide Palace, a large number of Lin clan's disciples and family members were gathered together. Some who were at the chaotic realm unleashed their soul powers to check on the battlefield at the Lin Mansion's gates. Despair took over the Zide Palace when they saw the number of Xiong clan members arriving. Xiong clan! Xiong clan has attacked us. Damn it, is the Xiong clan working with the Zhuge clan? Doomed. The Lin clan is doomed. Lin Dao, who was guarding the entrance of the palace, and his senior brother were both equally shocked. The Xiong clan? Jian Wushuang frowned. He knew earlier that the Zhuge clan had made extraordinary preparations which proved to be true. The only matter Jian Wushuang did not expect was that the Zhuge clan had secretly established an alliance with one of the 6 top clans of Anzhou Commandery, the Xiong clan. The Lin clan was in deep trouble when a large number of the Xiong clan experts arrived. Achem. Jian Wushuang's expression shifted as he immediately stood up. Shuang'er, what is it? Luo Xinqin immediately looked over. It's father. He's injured, said Jian Wushuang. In the battle outside of the Lin mansion, Jian Wushuang's soul power could see Zhou Yunfeng crossing hands with a Zhuge clan divine demon expert and had suffered some injuries under the divine demon's attacks. What? Luo Xinqin was shocked. Is he all right? He'll be all right for now, said Jian Wushuang. However, he knew very well that given the situation, the Lin clan had been completely overpowered and their defeat was only a matter of time. As soon as they were defeated, perhaps all the experts in the Lin mansion were going to be killed, including his father. Perhaps it's time for me to take action. Jian Wushuang mumbled to himself. Upon looking at Luo Xinqin before him, who was extremely worried and anxious, he took a deep breath and said, Please don't worry, mother. I'll safely bring father back. You. Luo Xinqin was stunned and immediately said, Shuang'er, don't be impulsive. She did not want anything to happen to Zhou Yunfeng, and neither did she want to see Jian Wushuang injured. Brother Wushuang. Lin Yang and Lin Qingqing beside him both looked over at Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang waved his hand and did not say a word as he directly walked toward Zide Palace's gates. At the gates, Lin Dao and his senior brother, the black-robed man with the long sword on his back, were both quietly guarding. Even though the battle outside was fierce, they had no intentions of joining the fight. They had their mission. Jian Wushuang came up at that moment. Open the gates, I need to go out, said Jian Wushuang directly. Go out. Jian Wushuang, you'd better stay here. What's happening outside isn't something you can interfere with, answered Lin Dao. The black-robed man shot a gaze at Jian Wushuang as well. Both of them were responsible to keep Zide Palace safe and would not let anyone out until the battle was over and the Lin clan was safe. The gates of the Zide Palace would only be opened when the Lin clan was defeated and needed to immediately escape. Jian Wushuang did not say more and only pointed a finger outward. Jian Wushuang, what do you think you're doing? Lin Dao stared at Jian Wushuang. However, Jian Wushuang suddenly moved. A ghastly shadow abruptly flashed by which caused Lin Tao's eye to widen from his incapability to react. Jian Wushuang's figure had once again reappeared on the same spot. I'll kill you if you dare stop me. Chapter 2335, Jian Wushuang attacked. If you continue to stop me, I will kill you. Jian Wushuang said coldly, and his voice reverberated in the Purple Virtue Hall. The talented disciples and family members of the experts from the Lin mansion looked over at Jian Wushuang, confused. Lin Dao was breaking out in a cold sweat. From his forehead, a few strands of hair fell towards the ground. These few strands of hair would not drop to the ground for no reason at all. Jian Wushuang had cut them off in that instant. If Jian Wushuang had wanted to, he could have chopped off Lin Tao's head. Did I almost die? How can this be? This kid. Lin Dao was trembling as he stared dead at Jian Wushuang. He was in disbelief. Junior brother. The man in black clothes looked at Lin Dao and turned pale. He instinctively reached out towards the sword that was behind his back. Suddenly, a cold pair of eyes looked at him. Rays of killing intent were seen in the pair of eyes. The man in black clothes was frozen in fear. His hand stopped in mid-air. He looked at Jian Wushuang in fear. Even though Jian Wushuang simply looked at him, he felt that he was lost within endless sword essence. The sword essence was extremely terrifying. If he continued to reach for his sword hilt, he would have died before he had even drawn his sword. How is this possible? The man in black clothes was shocked beyond words. Both of them had met Jian Wushuang before. Jian Wushuang had been a very modest and mild child. Even when Lin Yang had said that Jian Wushuang could be the most talented person in the sword doctrine throughout the Wuxia Baron region, they had never taken his words seriously and had underestimated Jian Wushuang. The door of the hall opened. After the door opened, the aura that Jian Wushuang had completely changed. Based on divine power alone, Jian Wushuang had the aura of an early-stage chaotic realm. This level of cultivation base was nothing. However, a person in this realm changed the perspective of everyone within the Purple Virtue Hall. Everyone looked at Jian Wushuang in fear. It was as though they were looking at an unmatchable killing machine, an overpowering emperor. Jian Wushuang did not say anything else. He looked into the air as he dashed forward towards the battlefield. The experts in the Purple Virtue Hall went into an uproar after Jian Wushuang disappeared from everyone's sight. These people were amazed, in disbelief and even in fear. Senior brother, did you feel that? Lin Dao trembled lightly as he looked at the man in black clothes beside him. I felt it. At that instant, I felt I would die from his gaze. You. The man in black clothes nodded his head solemnly. Both of them were raging with emotion and could not calm themselves down at all. In the crowd, Luo Xinqin looked at Jian Wushuang's back view. She seemed to have thought of something. Wushuang, Lin Mansion. The battlefield was shifted from the front door of the Lin Mansion to the sky above the mansion. It was a one-sided battle. After the Xiong family joined, the Lin family could put up no resistance. Is it fate that the Lin family will go down today in history? Lin Taifeng was desperate. Brother Lin, do not give up. There is still a chance. Zhuo Yunfeng, who was not too far away, shouted at Lin Taifeng. Chance? Lin Taifeng laughed bitterly. He looked over at Zhuo Yunfeng gratefully and said, Brother Zhuo, the Lin family has requested the help of many experts. You are the only one amongst them who is helping me wholeheartedly. The rest of them are here for their own vested interests. I am afraid I can only repay you in the next lifetime. Do not say something so stupid, Lin Taifeng roared in a low voice. Suddenly, a white sword light appeared beside Zhuo Yunfeng and it swept towards his waist. Zhuo Yunfeng was shocked. He tried to back off, but the sword light chased him down. The person who had created that sword light was a white-haired elder in white clothes. Zhuge Yun. Zhuo Yunfeng turned pale. He was a chaotic divine demon from the Zhuge family. He was also known as the most powerful expert in the sword doctrine within the Anzhou prefecture. There was no way Zhuo Yunfeng could stop such a powerful expert. Watch out, brother Zhuo, Lin Taifeng roared in a deep voice. He was preoccupied with Elder Chen and could not help Zhuo Yunfeng at all. Zhuo Yunfeng had a gloomy look. He gave it his all in an attempt to block the sword light. Just then. This sword skill is so fast and unique. Zhuo Yunfeng widened his eyes. He could only block 3 sword lights out of the many even though he already tried his best. When the 4th sword light was descending upon him, he felt his life was in danger. The sword light targeted his head. It would have penetrated his head in the next moment. Just then. A formless energy swept forth. The sword light halted in mid-air. This halt gave Zhuo Yunfeng a chance to back off. The sword light missed his head. Soul attack. This soul attack was extremely powerful. It was at the level of a half-step chaotic divine demon. Within the Lin Mansion, there wasn't anyone who could cast a soul attack at the power level of a half-step chaotic divine demon. Who cast it? Zhuge Yun stood there and surveyed the surroundings. What attracted his attention the most was a figure that had appeared out of nowhere. The figure was Jian Wushuang. He appeared beside Zhuo Yunfeng. Father, Jian Wushuang greeted him. Wushuang? When Zhuo Yunfeng saw Jian Wushuang, he was enraged. What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be with your mother within the Purple Virtue Hall? Go back immediately. If I leave now, I will never see you again, Jian Wushuang said indifferently. Zhuo Yunfeng was stunned. He knitted his eyebrows. No matter what, you do not have the ability to interfere with this battle. Take your mother and leave the Lin Mansion. Leave Anzhou Prefecture, Zhuo Yunfeng said authoritatively. I know my own abilities best. There is no need for me and mother to leave the Lin Mansion and Anzhou Prefecture. Jian Wushuang smiled lightly as he looked at Zhuge Yun. Chapter 2336. The most powerful sword cultivator in Anzhou Prefecture, Chaotic Divine Demon, Sword Cultivator. You have reached initial success in the sword doctrine realm. If I am not wrong, you are known as the most powerful sword cultivator in the Anzhou Prefecture, right? Zhuge Yun. Jian Wushuang looked at Zhuge Yun calmly. Looks like I am quite famous within the Anzhou Prefecture. Any random youngster can recognize me. However, You cannot just call me so casually, Zhuge Yun said coldly. Youngster? I'm sorry. From today, the title of the most powerful sword cultivator in the Anzhou prefecture will belong to the youngster standing before you right now, Zhen Wushuang said. Huh? Zhuge Yun was stunned before he mocked. Stop boasting. You are only in the chaotic realm. Even your father is no match for me. What makes you think that you can beat me? He was surprised by the fact that Zhen Wushuang was in the chaotic realm. Even though Zhen Wushuang had just broken through into the chaotic realm, there was no way he, as a chaotic divine demon, could deal with a mere chaotic realm expert. That would be a joke. Father, watch me, Zhen Wushuang said. As soon as he finished his sentence, he attacked. Zhuo Yunfeng wanted to say something. However, he realized Zhen Wushuang had disappeared. By the time Zhen Wushuang reappeared, he was already right in front of Zhuge Yun. This speed, Zhuo Yunfeng widened his eyes in surprise. Even he was surprised at the speed Zhen Wushuang traveled. Huh! Zhuge Yun was also surprised. The speed Zhen Wushuang had was on par with, if not faster, than his. When Zhen Wushuang reappeared, a sword light formed. This swing seemed ordinary, as though Zhen Wushuang did not put in effort to the swing at all. As a sword cultivator, Zhuge Yun saw that Zhen Wushuang's attack was extraordinary. This sword, is it? Zhuge Yun seemed to notice something different. He counterattacked immediately. A white, unique sword light was seen as it shot out like a venomous cobra. Clang! The two swords collided. Sword essences were gushing around wildly. Zhen Wushuang tilted his sword and flicked up lightly. The sword in his hands was headed for Zhuge Yun's throat at a speed so fast that he barely had time to react. Shush! Zhuge Yun sucked in a cold breath. He had to react. He too flicked his sword up to block Zhen Wushuang's sword skills. Get lost! Zhuge Yun roared as he slashed at Zhen Wushuang with a slash so powerful that it could even split heaven and earth apart. Zhen Wushuang simply backed off to the side to evade this attack. You are incredibly fast with the martial art motion you have mastered. You have grasped the space-time rules of order and your understanding of the sword doctrine is at the level of profound realm? Zhuge Yun looked at Zhen Wushuang in disbelief. It was rare to see experts in the early-stage chaotic realm being enlightened to the space-time rules of order. Even though it was rare, there was more than one expert who had managed to do that in the Wuxia Barren region. However, an expert in the early-stage chaotic realm was in the profound realm of the sword doctrine realm? That was absurd. Furthermore, Zhen Wushuang was not even 20 years old yet. An expert in his teens was enlightened to rules of order and had reached the profound realm in his understanding of the sword doctrine. Is he a monster? An anomaly? Zhuge Yun exclaimed softly. There were many geniuses in this world, and there were many of them within the Anzhou prefecture as well. For example, Zhuge Hong, Xiong Tuo from the Xiong family and Lin Dao from the Lin family were all geniuses. These geniuses would attract the attention of the clans within the Wuxia Barren region, but they would not go crazy over them. Under normal circumstances, these clans would only go after those unbelievably and incredibly talented geniuses. Zhuge Yun felt that Zhen Wushuang was one of the people classified as an unbelievably and incredibly talented genius. He was out of this world. There might not be another man as talented as Zhen Wushuang from the Wuxia Barren region. Once the clans from the Wuxia Barren region found out about the existence of such an insanely talented person, they would fight to recruit him at all cost. An intense flame of killing intent lit up in Zhuge Yun's eyes as he thought of this. As the enemy of such a person, it would spell disaster for the Zhuge family in the future. If Zhen Wushuang wanted to, he could easily join clans such as the Water Fairy Island or other much more powerful clans. He could give certain conditions to these clans, such as annihilating the Zhuge family, before he would join them. Zhuge Yun believed that these top-tier clans would agree without hesitation and would even break certain agreements with other clans to fulfill Zhen Wushuang's conditions. This person must die. Zhuge Yun was boiling with killing intent. A ray of white sword light appeared again. This time, it was brighter and even more shiny. You want to kill me? Zhen Wushuang pursed his lips. He looked to the sword in his hand and said, Blood Mountain Sword. Today, we will fight till our heart's content. Hum tilde, the Blood Mountain sword trembled vigorously, as though it was replying to Jian Wushuang. Die! Jian Wushuang roared with a low voice as he attacked. The two most powerful sword cultivators from the Anzhou prefecture started their battle on the battlefield outside the Lin mansion. It was a fierce battle. Jian Wushuang's understanding of the rules of order and the sword doctrine was much deeper than Zhuge Yun's. His Blood Mountain sword was also at a higher tier than sword that Zhuge Yun used. Jian Wushuang was only lacking in the aspect of power. The divine power that Jian Wushuang had was at the level of a half-step chaotic divine demon. Furthermore, he had cultivated the immemorial celestial body, which had boosted his divine power to even greater heights. Even so, he was still not at the level of a real chaotic divine demon. However, there was more to divine power in a battle. Jian Wushuang went even against Zhuge Yun by using his superior understanding of the sword doctrine and rules of order. Both of them fought fiercely. It seemed as though both of them were evenly matched. Zhuge Yunfeng, who was at one side, was stunned. Wushuang, is that really my son? Zhuge Yunfeng could not believe his own eyes. Wushuang, he is only in the early stage chaotic realm, yet he is going even in a battle against the most powerful sword cultivator from the Anzhou prefecture. Zhuge Yunfeng muttered to himself. No, the fight is not even. Wushuang has a small advantage. Chapter 2337, Shocked Shock. Zhuge Yunfeng was completely stumped. Moments ago, he had declared that Jian Wushuang had no rights to be there with just his chaotic realm cultivation base. He should remain in the Purple Virtue Hall with Luo Xinqin while looking for an opportunity to flee. Immediately after, Jian Wushuang had engaged Zhuge Yun in an intense battle and held his own well. In fact, he had the edge. If Jian Wushuang had no right to participate in this battle, wouldn't he be doing worse? Dang! The sound of metal clashing heavily rang. Jian Wushuang was knocked back several steps, but he regained his footing swiftly. In terms of the intensity of strength, I'm still a notch weaker, Jian Wushuang mumbled to himself. Junior. Zhuge Yun's haggard face had become extremely hideous. Flames of anger were raging in his eyes. Jian Wushuang's talent had made him feel fear. He was just an early-stage chaotic realm, and yet his grasp of the sword principle was so profound. He was even able to match evenly against a chaotic divine demon with his early-stage chaotic realm cultivation base. This made Zhuge Yun want to kill him even more. Die now. After a deafening roar, Zhuge Yun seemed to morph into a white glowing sword. Dazzling white light illuminated heaven and earth. It was as though there was a white sun that had come out of nowhere. Shocking sword essence swept towards Jian Wushuang with overwhelming momentum. He's using his ultimate move now? Jian Wushuang squinted his eyes but let out a chuckle soon after. Lin family is in a hugely disadvantageous state. I can't play around with them further. It's time to finish him off. Who? That glowing white sword flushed towards Jian Wushuang relentlessly. Endless sword essence sliced through the air and shot expeditiously towards Jian Wushuang. It was so fast that even a real chaotic divine demon could not react to it, let alone a chaotic realm or half-step divine demon. Junior, you should be proud to die from my strongest sword technique. Zhuge Yun's face was twitching and a chilling voice came from him. Shuang. Zhuge Yunfeng's complexion was deathly pale. He saw that Jian Wushuang's body was being pierced by that glowing white light of Zhuge Yun. Subconsciously, he assumed Jian Wushuang had been killed by Zhuge Yun. However, his penetrated figure split into two and dissipated into thin air. What? Zhuge Yun was astounded. He dodged it. How could it be? Even a real chaotic divine demon couldn't avoid my strongest strike. You don't understand. It's really simple. It's because my understanding of the space-time rules of order is way deeper than you imagined. A mocking voice rang in Zhuge Yun's ears suddenly. Zhuge Yun turned around immediately and only saw a brilliant light flashing across. That brilliant sword light was mesmerizing and intoxicating. When he swung that strike, even the void space was affected as ripples reverberated through. The surrounding space-time seemed come to a halt at that moment. That was the space-time sword principle that Jian Wushuang had created, Snow Cleave. Zhuge Yun stood there blankly, only seeing the strike before his eyes. This was the last time he would see anything at all. Fart. The sword light sliced through mercilessly as Zhuge Yun's head was tossed into the sky. The publicly recognized #1 sword cultivator and a chaotic divine demon had been killed on the spot. Dead. Hes dead. Shuang killed Zhuge Yun. When Zhuge Yunfeng saw Zhuge Yun's head before him, he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Several people in the vicinity witnessed this scene as well. How could this be possible? Ancient Elder is dead. It's Jian Wushuang. He killed a chaotic divine demon? Regardless of if it was the Zhuge family, Lin family, Xiong family, or the numerous experts that had been hired by both parties, they were all dumbfounded at this juncture. A chaotic divine demon could definitely be overbearing in Anzhou Prefecture. In fact, he would be a first-rate expert in the entire Wuxia Baron region. In the battle today, chaotic divine demon was undoubtedly the strongest battle force. The intense battle till now had resulted in lots of chaotic realm experts losing their lives. Even several half-step divine demons had been killed. However, all chaotic divine demons were intact and both parties had not seen the death of a chaotic divine demon yet. Even when Lin family was in an absolute disadvantageous state, the 4 chaotic divine demon still didn't pose a life-threatening threat to him. And now, the first chaotic divine demon had fallen and the one who had killed him was only a chaotic realm. How is this possible? It cannot be. No matter how amazing a chaotic realm talent is, there's no way he could kill a chaotic divine demon in a direct battle. Everyone was in disbelief. However, Jian Wushuang was still composed after killing Zhuge Yun. It was as though killing a chaotic divine demon was an insignificant thing for him. Moreover, he didn't slow down. He moved and charged into the battle beside him. Wang. A figure had moved to the side of a blue-haired lady silently. The blue-haired lady was one of the 3 chaotic divine demons from the Xiong family. She was going all out and was about to kill a half-step divine demon from Lin Mansion when the figure appeared. What? The blue-haired lady got a big scare and didn't care about killing the half-step divine demon anymore. She dodged to one side and thrusted her black spear in the direction Jian Wushuang had charged to. Your reaction is pretty impressive. Jian Wushuang smiled faintly. Moving his wrist slightly, the sword essence in his hand changed instantly. The silent strike that aimed to slice the lady through her waist changed abruptly into a strike with the overwhelming momentum of a thunderstorm. Peng! The Blood Mountain sword happened to clash with the tip of the long spear and deflect it slightly. Immediately after, Jian Wushuang took a huge stride forward before thrusting his Blood Mountain sword forward. He circled the black long spear and went for the head of the blue-haired lady directly. The blue-haired lady was astonished. However, she was quick to retract her long spear. Before Jian Wushuang could reach her head, she had pulled back the long spear to defend herself against the sword. Dang! A crisp collision sounded and the blue-haired lady was knocked back several steps. Killing intent gleamed in Jian Wushuang's eyes. Rumble. Terrifying swords explode like collapsing mountains and endless sword figures emerged and had the blue-haired lady completely surrounded. Shit. The blue-haired lady was flabbergasted. It was then a huge purple staff came from the side. That purple staff crashed in dominantly and smashed Jian Wushuang's countless sword shadows to the brink of collapse. Huh! Jian Wushuang squinted his eyes, moved and dodged to the side. The blue-haired lady recovered her composure and 2 figures appeared beside her at the same time. Those 2 figures were none other than the other 2 chaotic divine demons, one of which was the family head of Xiong family, Xiong Zong. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.